And we're live, right on time. Sheesh! How y'all doing? As usual, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me, see me properly, hear me correctly? I'll do a sound check myself too. Let me know in the chat. All right, cool. It looks like from my end, it's looking good. Yeah, it looks like my audio is also pretty darn good. Yeah, let me know if there's any issues from your end, guys, and let's get this party started. A 3-hour live stream. Sheesh. We're gonna go over the earnings report and the earnings call. I made a video about what to look forward to, and I will be looking uh, mainly on those things in today's earnings call and report. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm just realizing how plain my studio room is. I really need to fix this up a bit. I really need to fix this up. Well, we'll do that. We'll do that soon. Right now, it's not the best time to be in the Middle East. Um, yeah, lots of drones running over our heads. It's kind of surreal things. The things that I see almost lately on a daily basis. Sheesh. But we've got internet, we've got water, we've got electricity, so we are, gonna be thankful, right? So, how you all doing? Let's see, drama, 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 of course, but we can make it. Let's flip and go. Yo, what's going on, Neil? Peggy is FOS, is FOS. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. If it's a good thing, let me know. If it's a bad thing, don't let me know. Whatever it is. Let's go already. Yeah, we're here, bro. Let's up and go. Yes, we can hear. Thanks for live streaming. Aha, 69 cents. It would be really funny if 69 cents actually happens, right? Because the Wall Street, they're predicting 55 cents. We'll go over some numbers now. We got like half an hour until, half an hour before they drop the thing, or 40 minutes, whatever. I mean, half an hour, less than half an hour for the markets to close. So yeah, Wall Street wants this. I think it's gonna be a beat. The whole, Tesla investing community think it's going to be a beat. Usually, when that's the case, it means it's going to be a miss. What could it be this time? I mean, I think it's going to be a good earnings report. I'm not too sure about the call, but the call is the most important thing, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But if 69 happens, that'd be nice. What is your call? My call is 56. 56, and mine was 56 3 weeks before they updated this. First they put their Wall Street put their estimate at 45 cents, then 48 cents, then 50 cents, then 54 cents, then they finished at 55 cents. So they increased like what? 8 cents or something like that since their thing, which is just absolutely nuts. So yeah, I do believe that. So what is the sign behind you? Gary, bro, I see your comments on my videos. Why do you watch my videos if you're going to comment like those things, right? Come on, dude. What does the sign behind you mean? Which sign? This one? I just explained that. It's the number that we got to beat. Big beat. I hope so. I really hope so. That'll really give us some good stuff, some really good stuff. All right. Do you think Tesla bots will ever be on the battlefield? Bro, this is an insane question. Let's just get robo-taxis out first. I mean, we're already seeing drones doing things on the battlefield. We're not seeing much human beings doing much of the things, right? We're like, for example, Russia, Ukraine, even here in the Middle East, we're seeing a lot of drones, not much of humans being involved. That's going to be more of the future. I'll tell you guys right now, if what is that company name? And it's that drone military company. They're still private. It starts with an A. Andrula. I forgot how to pronounce their name. But if they ever go IPO, I'm buying their stock for sure. For sure. You think the Pentagon and the U.S. government don't want to use that stuff? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. Thank you, my man. Thank you, Tinu Salsin. If I butcher your name, I'm very sorry, but thank you for the super chat. Do you think Elon will announce company date? Company day with date. Company day. Refresh my mind. What is a company day? Company day. What does that do? Oh, like AI day, investor day, all that kind of stuff. Well, for what would for what for what right? For what would they announce it for? I don't see any significant, unless there's a cybercab event that they want to release the products to to everybody that you and I can buy. Yeah, I can see that, but um, I think there's more of a chance, if not this month, next month, maybe there would be maybe an announcement of a merger that, hey, we're taking SpaceX. We have a proposal to take space to for SpaceX to buy Tesla at a valuation of, I don't know, I'm at to say 50% premium. Let's say worst comes to worst, the stock goes to 350, and there's 50% premium on that. It's a stock price of um, what, like 400 something. So right, high 400s, maybe high 500s. Do a buyout then, and you gotta vote by November. I think that has more of a chance than anything with the company day, to be honest with you. Let's see what happens. That's still speculative, right? But if there's a big announcement coming, some big products coming, then yeah, I think I can see a company day. Yeah, I can see that happening, but I don't know what date. Let's see. Let's see what Elon has to say, because that's more important right now than the earnings report, whether it's a miss or a beat. Wall Street doesn't seem to care. I don't think you and I care. It's just, when are we going to get this robo taxi mass scaled? We just entered two new cities, which is Tampa and uh, Orlando, and I think Las Vegas as well. So the three new cities. And so when are we going to go from 7 cities to 10 cities to 20 cities to 70 cities to all the cities? I think that's the most uh, most important question right now. Optimus, forget about Optimus right now. That's the next year thing, because they're still building it out and planning it out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I think. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the shout out. I love it. Guys, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, man. It's gonna be a very interesting day today. Let's see what's going to happen, and we're gonna live stream this whole thing. Let's see. What if it's 60 cents? Then even better. I mean, that's a beat. Higher the better. So the stock price will be at 451. If it's at 350, 50% premium, 450. I think more though, but probably. Yes, Andrella, whatever that is. Yes, that's the company. If that company ever goes IPO, I'm buying, bro. I'm buying. I mean, there's no questions there. No, I'm not nervous. I had like a good 2 hour nap, because at night times is when drones get flown over our heads and the sirens go off, and I can't have a good night's sleep, so I nap during the day. That's why my videos have been coming later and later. It's just ridiculous. But no, I'm calm as a cucumber. I'm calm as a cucumber. Why am I not nervous? If you're asking, because I am invested until end of the decade. I've been in this since 2020. My goal is to hold it until 2030. Whatever happens, the only thing I can do is add to it, to add to my position, not to sell it. And so I'm not nervous at all. I know in 2030, whatever the stock price is going to be then, we just wish, not financial advice, but I do believe this, we wish that we bought more stock today. Let me smash that like button, and let me know in the comments or chats if you guys bought the stock today right before earnings, right? Because I think it's either going to go lower after this earnings call, or it's going to zip higher. I don't think it's going to stay the same. It's going to make or break it. Let's see. There's tons of fighting on the ground. Yeah, lower taxi revenue coming Q1 2027. That'd be flipping fantastic. If we can get that updated in the earnings report, that will be fantastic. If you invest in Arker Invest, you have a little exposure on. Oh, okay, interesting. I rather prefer to hold the whole thing. I mean, right now SpaceX is looking really good to buy. I mean, that's also a good defense company to buy, right? Defense company, commercial company, kind of like a little bit, kind of similar to Palantir, right? I think that's a really good one to buy and hold for the next 5 to 10 years. I haven't bought any shares. I'm only going to buy it if there's no announcement of a merger, and only after all the lockup period is done, because I think the stock's going to be lower than what it is today. Then I'm going to buy more. But that's my conditions of it. They need to talk about hardware 5. I don't think so. Hey Peggy, stay safe over there, man. Absolutely, will do, will do. I mean, some good news. I did first, then pumped to 430. I mean, that is not out of the question, to be honest with you. But let's see. Um, so one good news I wanted to share with you guys. I share with my subscribers on X. Um, is that high chance? I'm saying a 95% chance I'm getting a Tesla here in Kuwait. For those of you guys who don't know, getting a Tesla here, I'm here in Kuwait right now. Getting a Tesla here, it's very hard to do. But I found someone who's selling their Tesla, and I'm like, oh, and it's a very good price too. So stay tuned for that. I'll make videos on that as well. So let me first get it first, and then we can do that. Swords of the Rings. Okay, I love you. I love your show. Talking about speculation. Yeah, speculation. By the way, your post on X is misleading. FX subscriptions in UAE has been there since last month of 18. Now, see, I did not know that. I thought it was a recent thing. But the fact that they switched it from one-time payment to a monthly thing, I think that gives you a sign that hey, they're coming, they're coming. Androla, yeah, that's the company. Lower post earnings as usual. Spoke up then drops. Let's see what happens. By the way, your post on X Mercy. Okay, you already wrote that, bro. What up, playa? What's going on, my man? No Mercia. Okay, no merger. Elon package is locked in. Let's see. Let's see. About time. You'll love it. I know. I mean, I've been waiting for a long time for it. One car in Orlando in a wired location. I guess. M3 MYS. No, it's Model 3. It's a Model 3. So it's a Model 3. Anything more? I mean, I was hoping to get a Model Y. I was so close to get one, but someone else bought it. I'm like, damn it. But it's a Model Y. So sorry, it's a Model 3. Yeah, love my Model 3 performance. I don't doubt that. Imagine they announce merger on this call. That'd be if they announce a merger on this call, Tesla stock's gonna go up and SpaceX is gonna tank even more. I'll tell you that right now. Tesla stock's gonna get a big pump on this. I can't believe I don't know. I can't wait to see you become a Tesla multimillionaire. Your dedication is truly beyond compared. Thank you, Creature Loss. Same with you. Same with everybody who is a long-term Tesla investor. I can't wait for all of us to be Tesla millionaires, right? We've been through thick and thin, more to the hard part than the good parts, and I can't wait for all of us to really um, enjoy the fruits of this journey since we're on it on a day-to-day basis. I'm pretty sure those who just bought the stock and don't look at their accounts for the next 5-6 years and don't even watch any YouTube videos or do any analysis, I think those guys have the better mind, right? But since we're in it every single day, we see all the bad things, the good things, the horrible things, the drama things. Yeah, I can't wait for all of us to become Teslanian, millionaire, Teslanian, whatever. I can't wait for all of us. Sheesh. Hi everyone. Hello DRK. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. In a weird location indeed. Yeah, lots of cyber cabs being released. Yes, for testing. There is one car Orlando by airport. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna go to 2, and then 4, and then 8, and then 12, and then 24 soon. So, yeah. Right. So wrong name and yeah, keep up dollar cost average in. Yeah, Tesla cars and should be valued. No, I disagree with this. Yeah, okay. You should just trade them over if there's a market. Okay, you guys are there. $50. I don't think so. I think buying SpaceX at $100 per share, $90 per share, I think that's a very good deal. Right now, the valuation of it is what, 1.5? So if it goes down to 100, that's like 1.3, 1.2. That's not bad. I mean, think about it. Do you guys think SpaceX is should be valued or should be worth less than $1 trillion? That company should be at least to be worth 1 trillion, and maybe some change. That would be fair value in my eyes, right? Especially the fact that they're making freaking money. Like the AI compute, that's from the XAI team, right? That's from XAI. The fact that Anthropic and Google and a few other companies who are paying them billions a monthly, that's gonna make SpaceX profitable next month. It's gonna be insane. I hope Elon gives a timeline. No. Please don't give any timelines. Please don't give any. Elon, don't give timelines, man. Don't give timelines. It's what Tesla investors are pissed off about. Don't give. Please, no timelines. No timelines unless he is certain. Unless he is 110% certain. We saw what happened with RoboTaxi. 50% of U.S. coverage by end of 2025. He said it in Q2 and Q3 of 2025 earnings call. Nothing happened. Not even 50%, maybe 5%. We're now like what? More than halfway in 2026, and that still hasn't happened yet. So please don't give me timelines. I don't want any timelines. No, thank you. Um, Share price today depends on which Elon show for the call. Stock will move for sure. Happy Elon stock goes up, down or Elon stock goes down. Pretty much. Thank you, Contra Paston. Thank you for the gems, 1,000 gems. Sheesh. Thank you, my man. Thank you. I really appreciate the support and the love. Thank you so much. PCX 115, 88. Although I have to buy 100. That's yeah. I mean, that's a good price. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Okay, so we've got 15 minutes until the market closes. I do want to go over a few things here. I think I saw this is a good one. Yeah, Tesla Semi is rolling out, and at least one mega charger has been made, and I think there's like 2 or 3 more being made as well, which is awesome. And they don't need to make a lot of these, by the way, right? I mean, if you're Costco or Walmart or all these big companies that do buy Tesla semis, Tesla will build a charger right at your headquarters. So you leave with like 500 miles or whatever version you get, and you just have to go to what's it called in the on the way. You can just charge up. So Tesla doesn't need to put so many of these mega chargers everywhere. Just uh, a few ones, maybe half or 1/3 of what superchargers are now, just around the US for them to go from across country, right? So they don't need to make so many of these things. And I think they'll start from um, maybe West Coast first, East Coast later, depending where majority of the transport is and stuff like that. So semi is definitely a big one, and the mass production has started. So let's see how that goes, and we'll get an update in this video as well. Sid, will the news come out right after the market close? Yes, the earnings call, no, not earnings call, earnings report should come like literally right after. It should, right? And then an hour later is the earnings call. Merge of Tesla may happen next month or so. Let's see what happens. I hope people are ready for a crash. I got a massive short on, bro. Be careful, because when you think Tesla's gonna go lower, it doesn't. When you think it's gonna go higher, it doesn't. Gotta be careful with this stock. It tricks people. That's why it's not a good idea to time it. All right, so I gotta go show you guys some things. All right, so here's the stock right now. Stock is at $374, 375, let's just say, right? Down 1% in the day, 5 days. It's down about 5%, 1 month about 7%, 6 months 16 and a half, well, 17% really. Year to date, again 17%. 1 year it's up 13%. 5 years is up almost 75%, and all time is up nearly 30,000%. So the longer you hold it, the better you go. Yeah, I will have I'll have my spreadsheet up right now. Actually, I'm just going to go through a couple things, and then I'll bring that spreadsheet up right now. We'll do some numbering too. It'll be pretty fun. So yeah, I mean, long term, when in doubt, zoom out, especially with Tesla. Yeah, it's been flat, but it's also been flat from from 2014, 2013, all the way to 2019. It's 6 years of being, that's insane. 6 years of being flat. That's crazy, right? We've technically been flat, yeah, I guess from like 2021. 5 years being flat. So if history does rhyme, we have another year of being flattened before it rockets up. Right? If history rhymes in this case. Of course, past performance is not guaranteed to be future performances, right? So right now the stock is drawing down with 375. Let's see what happens after the earnings call and earnings report. So let's talk about what Wall Street is expecting. They're expecting, let's just go to total revenues, nearly $28 billion in revenue. I'm predicting almost 29 billion, so a billion more. And by the way, this will be a record for Tesla in revenue. This will be a record, right? We have income from operations 1.5, okay, and we have net income of 1.2, and EPS non-GAAP 55 cents. But And again, that's why I have 55 cents over here. I'm thinking it's 56 cents, but they're projecting free of cash flow to be negative because capex is going to be a lot. Now, this could be higher. We could actually see more negative, but I think it's already baked in the stock. It's already being priced in the stock that okay, we're going to see negative cash flow, and and such. But what's interesting here is that yeah, free of cash flow is down 3 billion, but cash equivalents is actually increased by like 700, 800 million. So they're expecting operating cash flow to be 3.5 billion. So in essence, they're actually still positive in their cash flow. So that's what Wall Street is betting, is expecting. My gut is saying is that I think this number is going to be a lot, I guess, more negative, like 3,000, 3 billion or 4 billion, because I think this is going to be a lot more, maybe 7, 8 billion. And I think we'll see a dip in cash. I think we'll do that. I don't know why Wall Street is sandbagging it, because 25 billion in capex in just 1 year is insane. It's absolutely insane. And um, yeah, I think they're sandbagging this one for sure. If not, well, then this is not a big deal. I mean, if we're still going to get a positive cash flow this quarter, I mean, what, you know what I mean? Everyone just losing their mind. But we'll see about this. I don't really care about this, to be honest with you. I care about, did we perform better than last quarter? Did we perform better than the last 4 fiscal quarters? Sorry. And we'll get to that in a second. Here are the people, the analysts and influencers who are guessing. We have James Stevenson. Gotta give a big shout out to him. 80 cents. If that happens, I'll lose my pants. I'll be honest with you. I will lose my pants if that happens. 80 cents. He also mentioned a few weeks ago with the delivery, Q2 deliveries. He said 482,000 deliveries while he was being the outlier. Everyone was saying, no, it's 420, 430, maximum 440, the lowest like 420, 415, 410, whatever it is. But James Stevenson was saying, no, 482. And it came out to be 480,000. I mean, that was insane. And I hope he is right here again at 80 cents. James Cat, who's been the most consistent out of everybody, saying 60 cents. Gary Black, 60 cents. Matt Smith, 59 cents. Grok, 57 cents. 56 cents. Analyst, 55. Dan, 52. And Aloja, 45 cents. What's it called? Troy just released it. He's saying 55 cents. So these are the numbers. Let's see what happens. Let's go to the spreadsheet because I know you guys want to see that. Here's my little spreadsheet. I don't know if you guys can see. You guys can see my spreadsheet goes wild here, and I make these available for Patreon. I'll make a full screen right here. Make you go more closer so you all can see. Perfect. Yeah, I make these charts. I'm going to make a big update for Patreon members after this earnings. Going to update everything, all the fundamentals, the charts, all that kind of stuff for members. I'm going to upload that, right? So 480, right? You guys can see 480,000, 126 vehicle deliveries, 5.6 operating margin, 56 cents. This is how I got the number. And if we want to keep the same stock price as what it is now, that would be a PE of like what, 258, something like that. If Elon comes out and says, guys, the robo taxis, we're gonna start ramping it up big time in this quarter. We've been passed through the hurdle, something reasonable that we can believe, right? And if it's better than we expect and it's reasonable and investors like it, then that needs to be priced in too, right? I think I can go up to 430. If a merger announcement gets announced, I can see that going up to. I can honestly see this going to like, what is it, 550s actually, like maybe even 600 around 420, right? I can really see this happening around what 2.2 trillion market cap, and it would be nice if there's a merger that Tesla would be valued would be 2/3 or at least 3/5 of the combined company, where Tesla investors get more of the cake, right? Not 50-50. But that's again speculation. We'll see what happens with that. But if we're gonna keep it the same stock price of 374, that's a P of 258. So we go down from 350, or I don't know, we can call it like 345 or 344, 343, whatever, to 258. So that's very good because we got EPS at a fiscal year, 4 quarters, going up from 109 cents to 145 cents, meaning the company is now at a growth trajectory. And here is the chart that I'm talking about here. When I say growth trajectory, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one right here, this little dot right here. This, let me just go ahead and expand this a little bit. There we go. Q2 2026 estimate at 56 cents. If this happens, we can see a big dip going up. Although I do expect Q3 to go dip down a little bit, but then I expect Q4 to be a good one as well because FST subscriptions are growing and that goes straight to the bottom and top line. So, but we're focused on the Q2 right now, and that will be a big dip. And what is that? Q4 of 2025 is, I think, would be the bottom. I really do think it's the bottom. So this would, so this would increase. Q1 was pretty good compared to Q1 of last year. That was a good growth. So Q2, if they do 56 cents, great. If they do 80 cents, well, then even better, right? That'd be massive. So this has very important implications to see what this number is going to be. And I have a good feeling it's going to be good. I'm positive. I'm optimistic on this one. And if this is the case, then Tesla has bottomed. Now they're a growing company, thanks to the other stuff, energy, FSD, and all the other goodies. So that's why this here is very important. And that's why the P is shrinking, because now it's being justified because of the earnings. That's great. Now, the worst case scenario that can happen here, guys, is that Elon slumps, we get a miss. This thing can go down to, I don't like to follow technical. I'm not a technical analysis. I'm an investor, but they're ringing the alarm. They're saying that if they don't do well in this earnings report and call, it can go back to the mid 200s. So we can expect maybe 275, a P of 180 or 90, maybe even lower, right? No, I don't think, maybe, I don't know. Well, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in this quarter, right? It's going to be insane. But let's see what happens. I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic. But yeah, you guys can see here I have 28.9 billion in my revenue, which is nearly 30 billion, which is honestly amazing for Tesla. And finally, for the last 4 quarters, they would hit 104 billion. Even if it's 27 billion, they would hit 400, over 100 billion. So just going over with you guys here. Remember, the most important thing, guys, is the 55 cents. We can beat the 55 cents. Let's go. All right. Bad news. When will it start? It'll start in 5 minutes, guys. It'll start in 5 minutes. Let me go back. Here we are. Moment of truth will be starting very soon. And I'll keep refreshing this page. Oh, we got these questions to go over. How long do we got? We got some time. Okay. Let's go over some of these questions before we start. What are the main constraints of expanding robotaxi operation? How do you see the lining up with Cybercab production? That's a good question because everyone's frustrated. What's the current status of Optimus 2 ramp? Okay, we'll see that. Tesla had this. This is the most important question in my opinion. Tesla has missed short-term guidance on robotaxi 3 earnings reports in a row, from 50% coverage of USA by end of 2025 to most recently 7 new cities. Now it's 10 new cities in the first half of 2026. Well, first half of 2028 was 7 cities. Now it's 10 cities. What is keeping Tesla back from accomplishing these short-term goals that they've set out for themselves? Do they set for themselves? This is a very important question. And let's see what they say. I really hope they give good answers for that, right? Because a lot of investors are pissed off because of this reason right here. There was this one right here. I think a lot of investors are. I don't think this is going to get answered. I think they're going to go like, wait, a merger? We're not here to talk about a merger. I don't think they're going to be an announcement of a merger. I'd be surprised if there is one, but I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to be a merger. Maybe he'll answer the first half of the question saying that, in the 2025 compensation plan. So let's see. Let's see what happens with that. So yeah, the most important question is this right here, in my opinion. Everything else, it's not really that important. So let's see what happens with that. So let's now go to this, and I'll keep refreshing the page to see how long it'll take for it to happen. Okay, what are y'all saying here in the comments? Let's see. Elon has to prove his credibility. It's funny because it's these times we all say this, but once it actually gets delivered, he has the best credibility in the world, right? Okay, we see maximum 420 is the share price. Nobody believes Elon anymore. Elon is going to present by is going to present by being doped. Share is going to tank, and he would talk a lot of okay, interesting. Tesla's dead money. I understand why everyone's feeling that way, but I don't think so. For the 5 years, yeah, I guess. But if you've been dollar cost average again, I think you've done pretty well, in my opinion. Okay, when will it start? It should start pretty soon, very soon. You must have 2,000 shares with all that dips. 1,600, very close to 2,000, but 1,600. I've been trying to slow down my buying because it's not easy, dude. I'm telling you, it's not easy. I mean, I want to live too, you know. So I think I have enough shares. I think I have enough shares for now. So yeah, I got about 1,600 shares. How many shares y'all got? Let me know in the comments in the chats. All right, it's 11 or at least 4 p.m. in Eastern time. It's 11 p.m. my time. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. Um, Gotta keep refreshing. Going to keep refreshing. I'm going to keep refreshing. I'm going to keep refreshing. Oh wait, well, let me put you all here. Let me put you all here. There we go. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. All right, all right, all right. I can just read it. I can just read it here. I'm a perma holder. Kent, appreciate you, Pidgey. Thank you, Kent. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Love it. Phoenix saying 625 shares. Noah 2,300 shares. Fantastic. Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Tesla is 373, continuing to dip. Let's see, going under 300. I mean, if earnings call is bad and earnings report is bad as well, probably 1,200 shares. That's good. That's good. 1,200 is good. Market cap of Tesla is 1.4. Market caps of Tesla 1.4 trillion. 1.5 trillion is the SpaceX. If they want to merge, it's going to cost SpaceX much more now. Good to be here, Peggy. No more watching crypto scam. Bro, that was insane. How the heck do I get punished for that? Like, come on. Like, that's insane. Jeez. Next time, I'm preluding it. I mean, now when I do this, everything's preluded. I'm not messing around. This is crazy. Absolutely insane. 2,000 shares, good, nice. That 2,000 shares, fantastic, dude. Autonomy. 100,000 liquid. Should I throw it in Tesla or SpaceX? Bro, not financial advice, man. Not financial advice. 2,000 shares down, almost 200,000. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what Tesla. Sometimes you're up that much, you're down that much. Um, we'll see. But I think in 5 years' time, 4 years' time, by 2030, I think it's going to be really good. All right, we've got. Okay, let's see. 100,000 liquid cash. Okay, no, 2,000. I have one share. Do you think I should sell it before you have one share? Come on, man. 3,100 shares. They did pitch it dirty. Yeah, they pretty much. Yeah, that's why I don't. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that. I really didn't appreciate that. 10,000, over 10,000. That's insane. Sheesh. 24,000 shares times 2,600 stock price, or maybe it's the other way around. 2029. That's going to be an insane amount. F5. Come on. Yep, I'm F5ing it, F5ing it, yeah. 1,500, 150. Now that would be sweet. 150 shares, 365. I think SpaceX at this price might look better than Tesla. SpaceX, I think, is going to go lower. There's more downward pressure than upward, in my opinion. And I will buy SpaceX only when lockup period is done, and if there's no merger announcement. Because if there's a merger announcement, there's no point of buying the stock of SpaceX because you're gonna get it anyways. You're gonna get a better deal with Tesla, being involved in Tesla. Over 5,000 shares, that's insane. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Come on, this intense. This is intense. This is getting intense. I know some of you guys will probably get the report earlier than me, but please don't just say that it's out. Don't tell me that the numbers, because I don't want to. I won't read anything. I have a separate screen here that I'm looking at. So yeah, Google at $9.88. Yeah, that's because they don't have much shares outstanding. So if they increase the shares outstanding, that'll become less. Or if they do a stock split, that'll become less. You all saw price going to 379 for a bit. Yeah. Again, I don't care about these day-to-day trades. I really don't. Anything under 400, I'm buying. There's no question there. But day to day, I don't care. Talk to me next year or the year after that or the year after that or by 2030. That's my whole horizon, not Verizon. So yeah, I have 188 shares, and that's a lot for my finances. Yeah, 188 shares is going to be a lot in 5 years' time by the end of this decade. Once robotaxi and all these things have been scaled, that's going to be worth a lot. I have more kids than I do Tesla shares. 800, you got 800 shares. The stock just started tanking. Almost start tanking. What do you mean just start tanking? But nothing is out yet. Holy crap. Whoa, what's going on here? Why is the stock tanking? Don't tell me there's a miss. Don't tell me, oh, is it out? Is it out? Because the stock's tanking. Stock's tanking. Okay, now it's going back up again. What the heck is this? Bro, this is insane volatility. I've never seen a stock like this before. Jeez. This is crazy. Well, the report's not out yet, so we don't know. We don't know that, right? Could be, if all we know, it could be emotions playing, or maybe, just it's not out yet. It's not out yet. For the record, I did not buy stock today. For some reason, my gut was telling me we don't need to buy today, so I didn't buy today. Bro, it keeps going down. 2% down now. Like, what's going on? Holy geez, my God! It is out. Okay, don't tell me the numbers. Don't tell me the numbers. If it's out, it's out. I'm gonna keep refreshing until I get the numbers. Okay, come on, keep refreshing, keep refreshing, keep refreshing. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I always get it. I always get like a minute or two late for some reason. Maybe because I'm all the way here in the Middle East. Maybe it gets some time for the cache and all this stuff to update on my end. But come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Oh, it's out. It's out. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Moment of truth. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, I can. Okay, I'm gonna have to remove you guys here because I want to read. Okay. All right. Whoa, stock is down 3%. Okay, I'm gonna go straight to the. Okay, it's a miss. It's a miss. It's a miss. It's a miss of 33 cents, bro. What happened? What happened? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Let me tweet this quickly. And we will do this. Okay, let me just go up to this quickly. Tesla misses earnings versus what was it? It's for 55 cents. Wow. Damn. Kind of disappointing. Elon has to, he has to say the right things. He has to say the right things. Because if he doesn't, stock's gonna go down. Okay. My God, why is this not letting me post? There we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Post it. I'm gonna go back to this. Let's go and read some stuff. What has happened? Let me check the stock first. Oh, okay, 3%. Again, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think. Yeah, maybe it may go down to 360, but it's not gonna be a big dip unless earnings call is gonna be very bad. But that is terrible. Where to go? Where to go? My thing go? There it is. 33 cents. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's go read. Let's see what's going on here. So, profitability, $400 million GAAP operating income. Okay. 1.1 billion GAAP net income, 1.2 billion non-GAAP net income. Okay. Yeah, that's lower than I thought. Okay. Expected, actually. Operating cash flow of 4.7 billion, free of cash flow, negative 1.1 billion. Okay. So less than what Wall Street was expecting, which is good in a way, but still 1.2 billion decrease in our cash and investments. Okay, record Q2 deliveries, launched robotaxi in 3 cities in Florida in July, begun production of the Cybercab. All right, let's read this. Let me go ahead and just zoom in so we all can get a good read here. Q2 was a strong quarter for our core vehicle, energy and services businesses, as well as our manufacturing, infrastructure, and AI initiatives. Our focus remains on strengthening these core businesses and making the necessary investments that will deliver amazing abundance. Tesla generated over $100 billion in revenue on a trailing 12-month basis for the first time. And we saw that together right before this report. We saw that together. We achieved record second quarter vehicle deliveries with continued growth in new markets and strength in established markets. Our energy storage business returned to growth, achieving its second best quarterly development number and record deployments on a trailing 12-month basis. The services and other businesses achieved record profitability and margin in the quarter because of FSD. Okay, Cybercab begun production at Giga Texas factory, and Tesla Semi remains on track for production this year at our new factory in Nevada. Progress also continued on battery pack capacity expansion, the main limiting factor to near-term vehicle production volume increase. Megafactory Texas is nearing completion with start of production planned for this year. Additionally, site selection, preparation, construction, and equipment procurement progress in the quarter for solar and semiconductor manufacturing. FSD supervised penetration continued to grow in the quarter with more customers opting for subscriptions. Oh, I can't wait to see this number at the time of vehicle purchase. Robotaxi rollout continued in the US and is now live in 7 major metros. Construction at our Fremont factory for Optimus began after we decommissioned the Model S and X lines with anticipated production later this year. Tesla is in its largest and most exciting period of investment. From here, there remains much hard work as we aim to revolutionize transportation, energy, and productivity through our leading and real-world AI. Scaling will be non-linear, and we are focused on long-term value creation. We've never been more optimistic about the future. Of course, the future is obviously optimistic, but investors want to see some stuff happening, right? So we all know this is a long-term investment. We know this, but we need. I mean, y'all know. Y'all already know. So okay, revenue is a record of 28.8 billion, which is fantastic. GAAP gross margin of 16.8%. I want to know what went wrong here. I was expecting this to be at least 19%. Okay, operating expenses of 4. Oh, there we go. Operating expenses had a bam, 4.3 billion for operating expense. That is insane. I was only expecting 4, the max. So that's probably what brought everything down. The operating expense. Damn, that's a lot. Like 4.3. That is a billion more from last quarter, which is a 47% growth year over year for operating expense, which is something that we don't want to see. But that's what they're, for the Tesla semis and the Cybercabs, all that kind of stuff. Wow. Okay. All right. EBITDA is down 4%. Margin is down 354 basis points. 1.1 GAAP, 1.1 non-GAAP, 32 cents, 33 cents for non-GAAP. Cash of 4.7 billion. Capital expenditures of nearly 6 billion. Free of cash flow down almost 1.1 billion. Cash equivalents only down like 800 million. So, no, down 1.1 billion. Yeah, no, 800 million, 700 million. Sorry, it's like midnight here. All right, so let's, this, I think we've already seen this, how many vehicles they delivered, all that kind of stuff. Ooh, 1.4 million. There we go. You know what this means, guys, right? I was predicting, if you guys have been following some time, I was predicting, let me bring the calculator here to show you guys, right? So I was predicting from 1.8 that 220,000 new active subs, making us to go 1.5 million. So I was off by 20,000. So that is fantastic, right? This is good. This is good, positive. This is what I'm looking for, right? This means 200,000 new FSD subscribers on a monthly basis. That's $20 million for Tesla's revenue. 80% of that is gross profits. That means Tesla is now generating $250 million on a run rate for this new. So if you want to add all this up together, right, 467,100 currently FSD subscribers on a monthly basis, plus 200,000, that's 676,100 vehicles. has FSD, they pay monthly of $99 a month. That's nearly, 67 million in revenue, in profits. Times that by 12, that's nearly a billion, 800 million, but nearly a billion in just revenue being generated from FSD. That's insane. And this means there's a run rate of 800 million. Now, next quarter is going to be probably another quarter million or 300,000 new active FSD subs that get slapped onto that. And that snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And this is important. This is very important for that. So this is good. This is one of the signals I want you guys to look forward, not the earnings and deliveries. And I've mentioned this in many videos and in yesterday's video and all that kind of stuff. So this is the thing you guys want to keep your eye on, right? Because I'm going to step away from here for a second. Let me just show you guys balance sheet. No. Fundamental chart. Here it is. So this chart right here, my gosh, sorry with all these charts. I'm still experimenting here. Let me go ahead and find my quarterly one. Where is it? 1.5? There it is. So 1.48, right? So check this out. This is how the chart looks like for FSD subs right here. This chart right here. Let me go ahead and zoom in more. This chart right here, guys. Yep. Go ahead and a little more so you guys can see. Yep. You guys can see how it's growing exponentially. 17.25% growth or 17% growth, right? So this is slowly climbing up, and I won't be surprised that next month it would, or next quarter it would be maybe 1.7, right? My annual, I think I have my annual right here as well. I have to update it. I have my annual Apple 1.4. This says 1.48, so 1.7, 1.75 should be the right number for the next quarter, Q3. So let's see what happens with that. But going back to this, right? That's very interesting. Global supply of 15. People are buying Teslas left, right, and center. 13.5 gigawatt hours, 31% growth. Stations, supercharger station, 8,700, 18% growth. Supercharger connectors up 17%. So that is also good. So let's read some of the stuff here, guys. All right. By the way, guys, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. We've got some key points that I'm looking for is pretty good. I like that. All right. Our overall Q2 record deliveries were supported by record deliveries in several markets, including South Korea, Australia, Colombia, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, Portugal, the Philippines, Chile, Slovenia, and Lithuania. We launched the Model YL in US markets in July. Consistent with launches in other markets, we have seen positive response from customers. Energy generation and storage, we achieved record energy storage deployments in Europe, Middle East, Asia, supported by record deployments from Mega Factory Shanghai, which continues to ramp production. We are also on track to begin production of Mega Pack 3 and Mega Block this year at our new Mega Factory, Texas. Okay, cool. That this will increase their deployment of energy, which will be interesting. Powerwall 3P, which is 3-phase, is now available in Germany and is designed to meet the power needs of homes and 3-phase power with a single unit. It includes a native 3-phase inverter, bringing the cost savings and energy security of our residential energy products to more customers. We are focused on bringing Powerwall 3-phase to other 3-phase markets as quickly as possible. And robotics, we have decommissioned Model 3, Model S and X factory, and we put the first generation lines of Optimus, where we expect to start production soon. The initial Optimus builds will be used in our Optimus Academy for training, data collection, and further functionality development. Additionally, we continued site development at Gigafactory Texas with building construction now in full swing. Yeah, okay. We have automotive here, Model 3, Model Y. We have everything has been the same. Tesla Semi is being, see, Cybercar is now being production. Wow, 125,000 vehicles they can build. That's amazing. That is amazing. That's what? That's a run rate of how much on an annual basis? Weekly, monthly basis, 10,000 divided by, let's say, I don't know, like 30 days or something. That's 350 Cybercars being made daily, 24. That's 15 of them being made hourly. That's about, so that's per second. So yeah, which is 5 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds. Every Cybercab, every 5 to 6 seconds, they're expecting for Cybercab to be built. I don't think it's going to happen until next year or something, because they're still like, they are producing more and more annually for sure. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this Roadster. We'll see what happens with Roadster if it gets even mentioned in this earnings report. We'll see. Megapack, Powerwall, Megapack. That's being under production and commissioning. Construction, Optimus. This is new. Optimus, California and Texas construction. Good stuff. Okay. All right. AI training compute. This was another thing that I wanted you guys to keep your eye on, because this is what's going to increase Tesla's FSD updates and push for sooner um, deployment of FSD more versions, and version 14 Lite and all this stuff. The higher this chart is right here, which it looks like they have delivered, right? They have delivered. They were at 150. Now they promised in June to be at 250. Now they're saying 400, which is flipping insane. This is a very important chart to look at. Okay, let's read about it. We have more than doubled our on-site compute in Texas in terms of megawatt of compute. During the first half of 2026, Cortex-2 supports the development of both vehicle and humanoid robot autonomy software and will ramp further over the rest of the year to ensure we have sufficient compute resources. All right, battery. We continue to work on initiatives to increase battery pack capacity, as it remains the limiting factor on ramping our vehicle production globally. Our teams made further progress on the ramp of new battery and material factories, including vehicle pack capacity in Berlin, cathode material production, and lithium refining in Texas, and LFP cells in Nevada for our energy storage products. Okay, we are also increasing production of 4680 cells to support production ramps of both Cybercab and Tesla Semi, and increase production of the Model Y. Other support infrastructure, we added over 2,400 net new supercharging stalls, growing the network to 17% year over year. We continue to innovate our supercharger design and production process, helping us scale the network more cost efficiently. We are currently reducing supercharger wait times through improved trip planner, okay, for forecast stall availability and dynamic wait listing integrated into the Tesla app. All right, that's cool. I just want to take a minute to see what the stock is doing. Stock is maintaining around the 360s. Again, what's going to make and break this, what couldn't get this to go lower if earnings call is terrible, and if earnings call is good, this can actually go back up again. Bad news about this quarter is that the PE is going to increase now to maybe 370, right? So, yeah, it's yeah. Upside based on these reports is not good, if I'm being honest. However, there will be that one quarter where it changes everything, and that's going to clear up all the clouds of it. All right. So installed annual capacity. Cortex-1, 90 megawatts. It's being under production. Cortex-2, more than 150 megawatts production. Nevada, LFP, 7 gigawatts. Texas, cathode, all these things. It's all being in production or early ramped or under construction. So we're still in the growth phase of Tesla. Now, this is also important. This is another thing that I outlined right here. This chart right here. So it was, where is it? September, December, March. Okay, now they're doing it on a quarterly basis. So where is this? From March 2026, it was above 8 million. June, it ran up to, went up to almost 12 million. That is insane, right? This is insane. This is total FSD miles on. I mean, no, this is not the chart. This is the chart that I'm looking forward. Yeah, cumulative paid robotaxi miles. It went from 1.67, I guess, to 2.4 million. So I was expecting this chart to go actually higher, but had a little bit of a slowdown from March to April, maybe because of the deployment. But I thought they deployed it more, right? Anyways, we need answers about robotaxi. Let's see what they say here on this earnings call. So AI software, we began delivering FSD version 14 Lite to customers in the US and South Korea, the latter in July. With AI hardware 3 with AI 3 hardware. The software build distills the driving behavior from AI 4's version 14 series into both the camera and compute configuration of AI 3 and includes destination options, parking in a lot, on the street, in a driveway, or at the curbside, and speed profiles. It also addresses challenging driving scenarios with improved proactive and reactive responsiveness, including navigation handling, merge and forks, pedestrian interactions, traffic lights, and vehicle cutting. Let me know if you guys received your hardware 14 Lite um, in your hardware 3, if you guys have a hardware 3. AI inference compute. We continue to make progress on construction and equipment procurement for our semiconductor fab in Austin. While still in its early stages, this project is critical to building our own chip making capabilities to ensure reliable long term supply of essential logic and memory chips for our products. TerraFab automotive and other software. In July, we began rolling out our summer release with additional functionality aimed at enhancing the customer experience and further promoting our autonomous capabilities. Customers can now view and share self-driving stats, making FSD Supervise more social and interactive. The summer release also includes additional Grok functionality, such as making phone calls, searching and playing music and adjusting climate controls. Automatic navigation expands beyond home and work to support any destination based on personal habits and schedule, including school drop-offs and on the way to work. And there's little stats right there that just talk about customer view of FSD. Interesting services. We just took a look at this chart. I mean, I thought this is going to be higher again, but this was a little bit damped. We'll see why this was the case in this earnings call. Robotaxi. We started production of Cybercab, our purpose-built autonomous EV designed to be the workhorse of our robotaxi fleet. Engineering test drives of production Cybercabs on public roads also begin during the quarter, and we begin offering employee rides in Cybercabs on our Gigafactory Texas campus in July, which is a big signal. Both important precursors to Cybercab deployment in our robotaxi fleets. That's why it's important. We expanded the unsupervised operation area in Austin and launched unsupervised rides in Miami, Orlando, and Tampa in July. Preparation for expansion of our robotaxi service to additional U.S. metros continued, including testing, permitting, and first responder training. FSD supervised. FSD, this is one that we want to keep an eye on as well. FSD adoption grew in the quarter, including record net new subscriptions. We also achieved record FSD attach rates in North America, with over 55% of new deliveries including FSD subscriptions. Amazing. Building on the approval to deploy FSD in the Netherlands, we received additional approvals in Lithuania, Estonia, Denmark, and Belgium. With customers in these countries driving over 50 million kilometers, which is 31 million miles on FSD as of July, we are seeing elevated interest in our vehicles in markets with FSD approval. That's right. When the main seller here, which is FSD, when the car can drive itself and you don't have to drive, that becomes a reason to buy the car. And that's what's happening right here. If you guys haven't tried FSD, you guys are missing out. You guys, it's something else. You guys will never want to drive again. I'll tell you that right now. That's a spoiler, not even a warning. That's a spoiler. All right. Automotive services. Services and other gross profit grew 302 million sequentially to a record of 648 million, achieving a 14% gross margin, with growth driven by all major segments. As our vehicle fleet grows and we further improve business efficiency, we expect continued profit growth. Good stuff. Okay. Again, I don't care about the vehicles. The vehicles are good, but I care about the FSD and I care about this. That's like these two. I care about these two the most. Robotaxi and FSD. I don't really care about the vehicle growth. As an investor, of course, as a customer, I love the cars, but I don't care about that, about the automotive stuff like that. Services, cool, but yeah. State, metro, and status. So we have everything is being ramping unsupervised except for Phoenix and Las Vegas, but I think we just saw Las Vegas being added to the map. So yeah, um, I kind of wish they added more cities here in this quarter. I really wish they did, but they didn't. So I'm sure they'll surprise us in this quarter. Okay, now let's go to the outlook. That this is important. The outlook is what I guess we have what we can work with. Can I come here? No, I can't. Okay, let me just go back a little bit. Make this 110. There we go. That's better. Volume. We are focused on maximum capacity utilization at our factories. Deliveries and deployments will be impacted by aggregated demand for our products, supply chain readiness, and allocation decisions between sale to customers or use for our owned and operated fleet. Okay. Cash, we will manage the business such that we are ensure. Let me read that again. We will manage the business such that we ensure a strong balance sheet, maintaining sufficient liquidity to fund our product roadmap, long-term capacity expansion plans, including further vertical integration and other expenses. Profit, while we continue to execute on innovations to reduce the cost of manufacturing and operations over time, we expect our hardware-related profits to be accompanied by an acceleration of AI, software, and fleet-based profits, and that is true. 100% agree with that here. We continue to evolve and augment our product lineup. This is the product with a focus on cost, scale, and future monetization opportunities via services powered by our AI software. We remain focused on growing our sales volumes through a differentiated and efficiently managed product portfolio, which includes leveraging and optimizing our existing production capacity before building new factories and production line. Okay. Tesla Semi and Megafactory remain on schedule. Okay, 2026. First generation production lines for Optimus are being installed. Okay, 2026 as well. Capacity build out and ramp related to our multi-year infrastructure initiatives, including AI compute, solar, battery material, and semiconductors manufacture underway. Cool. All right, let's see some pictures. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. There we go. Of course, we saw this picture in the impact report. Now available in the US, which is the Model YL. First builds, okay, that's great. We have CyberCap, autonomous rides for employees. Yes, we know this as well. Wrapping unsupervised in Miami. Yes, we know that too. Production at Gigatex. Look at all them CyberCab. That's amazing. That is amazing. First generation production line in Fremont. First generation production line in Fremont. Are these batteries? Or are these, is this Optimus? This is Optimus. Oh, so they've already got ready. Oh, okay. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Optimus first generation production line thing. Oh, is there Optimus here? There ain't no Optimus here, but that's how they build up the freaking robots. Sheesh. Okay, Tesla Semi Factory. Yeah, there it is. Just because they should be pumping out quite a bit of good stuff. And there's the icon when they're ready with the Model Y headlights, Cybertruck, Cybercab, and Model Y headlines. Tesla Lithium Day in-house battery grade lithium production ramp in Texas. We are the companies this vertically integrated, man. Like that's crazy. Okay, key metrics. View of cash flows down. Operating cash flow is up. Vehicle delivery is up. Flat, really, but up. We have adjusted EBITDA, net income. All right. We have vehicle deliveries, of course, all this kind of goodies. I'm going to skip all this. All right, now here are the revenue. Here are some of the stuff that we should know. Let's go ahead and read this. Okay. Excuse me there. Drink some water before I choke on myself. All right. Revenue. Total quarterly revenue increased 26% year over year to 28.2 billion. Year over year revenue was impacted by the following items: increase in vehicle deliveries, growth in services and others, positive FX impact, which is $500 million, which is nice. $500 million. Yeah. Growth in energy generation storage, higher automotive ancillary sales, primarily driven by an increase in FS subscriptions. I like that. Negative, lower regulatory credits, and lower vehicle average selling price. Yeah, that's as well. I was hoping the average selling price would be more, but I mean, I increased mine at the last second, but interesting. Okay, profitability. Our quarterly operating income decreased 57% year. That's insane. Year over year to 400 million, resulting in a 1.4% operating margin. Ugh, it's bad. Year over year, operating income was primarily impacted by the following items: increase in vehicle deliveries, growth in services and other gross profits, plus lower average cost per vehicle, primarily due to lower inbound duties, positive FX impact of 100 million, higher automotive and service sales, primarily driven by increase in FSD subs, minus, these are the negatives now, increase in operating expenses driven by AI and other R&D projects, SBC, including 2025 compensation reward, right? Um, Lower regulatory credit revenue. Okay. So that's why we have a very high operating expense. Because I was including AI and semi and cybercap production to increase operating expenses, but I did not include Elon's compensation here because he did get rewarded. That makes sense. Otherwise, if we remove that, which was around 200, 300 million, 300 million, if I'm not mistaken, which if I do remove that, it would have been 4 billion. But I predicted. Mm, right. It makes sense now. Okay. All right. Lower vehicle average selling price, inclusive of max impact, mix impact, excluding FX impact. Okay. And increase in energy warranty related charges due to vendor call issue, sell issue. Okay. Cash, quarter end cash equivalents, and short term investments was 43.5 billion. The sequential decrease of 1.2 billion was a result of negative free cash flow of 1.1 billion, driven by sequential increase in capex of 3.3 billion. If we didn't have that 300, actually no, it still would be negative. Never mind. Financial statements. This is what I want. This is what I want to see. All right. Let's go ahead and see what is going on here. Let me pull my calculator right here so we can do this together. And then we will go to the we have about less than an hour until the earnings. Yeah, until the earnings call. My God. Okay. So automotive sales. Okay, 20 billion. Yeah. Okay. Energy, 3.1 billion. Oh, I was expecting 3.6. No worries, no worries. Let's do the calculation here for energy because I'm very curious about that. So let me go ahead and do the math right here. Subtract the expense, which is 34.99, right? Just double checking that's correct. 640 million. That's what gross profits of 20.3%. Much less than I expected. 23.3%. That's, I guess Powerball was one of the main things that was being delivered. Okay. Let's go to services 4.5. That had a big jump. So let's calculate the profits and the margin of this as well. So it was 4581. Subtract that by 3993. Wow, this is going to be 14.1%. Wow, that's insane. That is insane. This is a big jump, which brings the question: is now FST subs being included in services rather than the average selling price? I think that's the case. I have to do a deep search on this one. If you guys know, let me know in the chat. But the only reason why this will have a big jump is because of this. Because we saw a big jump in Q1 as well compared to Q4, right? Okay, let's see about that. I want to see what the average selling price was per each vehicle. Let's go ahead and do that. How many vehicles did they sell? It was that 26. So 41.6. That was the average selling price. That was the average selling price of that. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Let's go down. What else do we got here that we can look into? Taxes should be a lot less than what we think because of all of the 200 million. Yeah. Operating. Okay. Leasing was less as projected. Um, okay. So these are the numbers. We have cash assets, and this is the balance sheet. This is the balance sheet and statement of cash flow and everything else here. How much was it? Stock-based compensation of whoa, okay, of 989 million. Okay, so not the quarter that I expected. I thought it was going to be a better quarter than I thought, but what caught me off guard was the operating expense of where's the chart? Sorry guys, of 400 of almost 4.4 billion. This was a shocker to me, to be honest with you guys. Sheesh. Okay, so some good news, right? I will write it here so you guys can see. And sorry, Mayor just wrote about it too. Why is it always on everybody? Always verified accounts. Okay, so Tesla added 200,000 new FSD subs in Q2, increasing the total monthly active FSD subs to what was it? 200,000. It was that. Okay, that was the amount. Yeah, and there we go. To 600, and well, this is what's important. Plus the robotaxi and cybercab rollout. Okay. Yeah, this next month is going to be like 250,000, 300,000. This would be the best one. So overall, again, not the core that I expected. What's the stock doing? The stock kind of bouncing back a little bit, I guess. I think let's see what it says. Look, the future, what they are doing, it's looking the right way, right? They are investing in the right places. They are on the right direction for sure. And the data is showing the FSD growth, the robotaxi growth, even though robotaxi is a bit sluggish right now, which I don't like, but FSD growth, that is pretty big. That I like that. I like that a lot. But the rest of it, sure, vehicle delivery is fine and stuff like that, but I care about FSD and robotaxi. That's what I mainly care about. And of course, it was a one-time fee of Elon's package of 300 million, which would have helped with the bottom line. But yeah, was not expecting 33 cents, to be honest with you guys. Was not expecting 33 cents at all, especially with a record quarter. But as we all know, we know that they're investing in it. That's why the stock isn't down as much as we think, as much as we want it to be, right? As much as it should be. That's the right way for me. Sorry, it's like midnight here now. But yeah, it will. I will buy more stock for sure. I'm glad I didn't buy today because I had a feeling something like this would happen, and it all lines up. Right now it's all earnings call. Let's see what Elon has to say. I hope he's full of energy and he does that. But I don't think in a couple of years from now we will be complaining. Not financial advice, but I really do believe that we are seeing the right signs for everything else. Because if you're invested in Tesla, you're not in it for the vehicle deliveries. You're in it for things like, FSD stuff like this. You're in it for these things. Okay, overall, I give this quarter a 3 out of 10, right? In terms of earnings report. But in terms of long-term stuff, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 because I like what I saw with FSD. I like that. All right, let's come and talk to you guys about what's going on here. Let's see. I'm going to put you guys back on here. Let's talk about it. Let me go ahead and find the earnings call first, just to be sure. Where is Tesla? Where is Tesla? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Ba-da-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Tesla. There we go. There we go. Live. Finding it right now. There we go. This is the one. Got it. Huh. I love the fact that they are now showing Optimus. Nice. So 45 minutes, guys, until we receive it, until they start. So let's see what happens. So let's see what y'all are saying here. All right, all right, all right. Wow, you guys are talking a lot here. Okay, I can't go all the way back, so I'm just going to start with whatever you guys hear. Oh, that's hilarious. Pidgey, if you... that is hilarious. I don't think that has an impact on it, but nah. That's what happens. This is what that's what I've been telling you guys, that every time this guy Pidgey talks, Tesla dips. Hey man, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in a couple of years. I have to do anything with that, but I guess, I mean, Jim Cramer? Nah, I don't think so. That's hilarious, though. I love it. 3 out of 10. Yeah, I agree. A lot of Tesla haters. Yeah, and they're not gonna be. I think there'll be a lot more after this for sure. Whew, it's going to be tough. It's going to be. But I'm sticking to my thesis, and I like what I saw with the FSD and stuff like that, and robo taxis. And we'll see what happens with that, and we'll go with that. This is what I've been. That is what I have been. Not financial advice. Wait for 320. Let's see what happens. Breaking news: Tesla adds balanced bike to Austin. Yeah, the hate is the disappointment I see. Yeah, the Roadster. I mean, we'll see what happens with the Roadster in this quarter. I don't think it's gonna get mentioned unless it's about to get released, right? General market morale is suffering because of the lingering instability from the conflict. So Tesla isn't the only stock being affected by the widespread downturn. Well, yes, that has an impact, but I don't really think that's the biggest one, to be honest with you. I think, in fact, Tesla does benefit more here because they get to sell more vehicles, right? As we saw in Q2, because of high energy prices, high gas prices. This comes down to a higher operating cost than we thought, and comes down to the investments that Tesla is doing that's bringing down the margin of the profits. Tesla is now producing Cybercabs and Tesla semis, which are cash burners for Tesla, right? This will impact the bottom line and the margin. And as we saw in Q1, it is. Optimus, not yet, because they're using CapEx for that, but that's affecting the cash flow. So a lot of investments is going on, a lot of ramping is going on, that in the short term, we will see more downturn because of these reasons, not because of the Middle East conflict and stuff like that. In fact, I think the Middle East conflict would actually increase the sales of Tesla. So yeah, I do think that. Let's see what you guys are saying here. What else? If the war ends again, I don't think so. Boy, the market should boost. Maybe the stock will go up a little bit, but yeah, I think it doesn't have much of an impact, to be honest with you guys. Maybe it'll go up 10%, but that's about it. That's about it. It's not just Tesla, of course. Everything is down. Yeah, market is down as well. Tesla has a higher beta, of course. Guys, let's. I get it. I know a lot of. Look, if you're a Tesla hater and you're an investor, why do you hold the stock? Like, there's so many other there's other opportunities out there. Of course, I don't see an opportunity out there that can really revolutionize how we live, other than Tesla right now. But if you guys can't stomach these downturns, I mean, I've been in this since 2020. I saw a downturn when the stock went from 414 all the way down to like 100. The hit was bad back then, but nobody complained when it went back up to 300 because everybody bought in the low 100s, right? So if you can't stomach and hold this stock long term, just get the S&P 500. No one's forcing you to hold this stock. Nobody is. Nobody is. I just see what I see. Again, I went all in because of this right here, the Cybercab. That's the reason why I'm all in. And it's manifesting. It's happening. Yeah, it's taking longer than it should, even though I think they're moving pretty okay. Um, that's what I invested in for, guys. And it's coming to life, and FSD is coming to life. That was also one of my thesis. And for me, I just want to buy more stock before this thing goes higher, right? That's just my thought. That's just my thought. Let's see what else you guys are saying. We are Tesla haters because we are butthurt. Yes, yes. Here's the thing: majority of Tesla haters, majority of them are after 2021. They bought the stock at 2021. Anyone prior to 2021, I don't think they're complaining. I don't think they are. Um, yeah, I don't think they're complaining. I really don't think they're complaining. I think they're going, okay, I've already 10, 20x my money and has consolidated. And I'm seeing what's going on with FST and Cybercap. I don't need to, I don't need to be butthurt or anything like that. So yeah. Yes, yes, you can. Can we hear the conference call here? Yes, it'll be up in less than 40 minutes. So get ready. Props to Peggy. No one can know the future exactly. Yeah, no, that's never going to happen. Tesla will always be trading at a premium. Always will be trading at a premium. Let's see. The stock market usually goes down in the summer. This seems typical to me, of course. Everyone's trying to enjoy their summer. Everyone was expecting 500 plus share by now, at least 600. Well, that's the thing with Tesla. It stays flat and it bounces up. I think the only thing that can really save the stock right now, if you guys want short-term gains, to be honest with you, if not, well then, just wait another, just gotta be more patient, I guess, until these other S curves come in and take over the bottom and top line. Is a merger with SpaceX. If an announcement does come up, I think the stock could go well above 450, in my opinion. Maybe even reaching 500, maybe even 600, depending on what the premium is and all that kind of stuff. But based on what the price is now, which is, let's say, 360, right? Maybe like 500 or something like that. By the way, guys, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. I love y'all. I love y'all. All right. So we have, everyone was expecting 500 plus. Yeah, we just read that Cybercab will expand as it already is, a matter of time. Indeed, Elon is sleeping. Elon is in space. Sheesh, market makes all of you Tesla lovers point blank stupid. My God, I don't think we'll look stupid in a couple years, in my opinion. I think we're gonna look like geniuses. Oh my God, Tesla and all these things are growing. Oh my God. Yes, thank you, DJ. Exactly. Nothing saves this POS stock if Nasdaq goes down 20%. Exactly. Haters don't hold the stock. They are just here to make the noise. Exactly. There's no. Exactly. Exactly. Tesla revenue reached 28 billion, representing a 26% year-over-year increase. Additionally, the company generated over 100 billion revenue in 12 months based on the first time. Finally, I mean, this was supposed to happen last year or the year before that, but now it's happening this year, so I'm happy about that. Sheesh is right. But yeah, how you guys feeling? I mean, was not I was hoping that was a good beat today. Like, I really want the fundamentals to go. So you know what? Yikes. Let's go to this chart. Where's that chart? The EPS growth. So this is no longer speculation. 33. Look at that. Look at that. I have to change the color to that. Let's go ahead and fill it up to, I think it was this color, that color, this color, right? This color, right? Yeah. And this one right here, right? I have to change the color so we are fine. Outline. No. Go back to the orange. There you go. Yikes. Yeah. So $1.74. That's still going down. I mean, we still got Q2. This is no longer resonant, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, update that right now. I will make this available for Patreon members. I'll do a big update for Patreon members. Give me a week or two to update everything, to add it on. Go ahead and remove that. There we go. Yeah. So and now Q3 is higher than Q2 because let's see what happens with that. Okay. That means if this is going the way that I think it may be going, that means we'll also be flat in earnings, EPS by end of the year as well. So let's see. Let's see. Again, Wall Street knows this, right? I'll say this again. Wall Street knows this. That's why they're not punishing the stock as much as it should. Because if this is based on full earnings report, stock will be going down much more, much more. So let's see what earnings call is. I really hope that there's some good stuff there, some good interesting stuff there, and let's see. And let's see. So the good news about this, right? We talked about the bad news. The good news about this is FSA subscription has increased by 200,000. So increasing by about 45%, 44%. So that's good. Robo taxis still sluggish. Yeah, yesterday it went to three new cities. Fine, but that's what, one or two unsupervised. They should really expanding it a lot more than that, in my opinion. So let's see what happens with that. What's the sluggish? What's the sluggish there? Um, Energy, of course, that was okay, but the revenue and profits was lower than I expected, and that was a bad. Well, that's a neutral news, really, because it was a record deployment for that quarter, but it wasn't a record revenue or profit for that quarter, right? So we have to keep that in mind. But and the rest of it was all like reinvestment back in the company and all that kind of good stuff, right? That's what Tesla's doing. They're still in the growth phase, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in this Q2 earnings call. How long do we got until then? We got 34 minutes. So until then, let's see what can we do. The stock market is coming under complete control. I don't think it's conspiracy, really. I don't think there's no conspiracy. I don't think there's any conspiracy theories, to be honest with you. More people use FSD, the more people will invest, of course, and the more people who use FSD, the more it gets out there, the more people will buy Teslas because of FSD. That's becoming the main driver of it, right? I think you should put your calculation to 2 to 3 years out further. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. I think I will make a video of that, of Tesla in the next 2 to 3 years. It's really hard to really predict now because all this reinvestment and uncertainty. It's very hard to predict what stock's going to do. And if there's going to be a merger with SpaceX, what's the point of all this, right? That's why I haven't done any updates, because if there's going to be a merger, then what's the point? What's the point of updating, right? All this stuff becomes obsolete. I mean, now you got to add SpaceX's revenue and stream into it too, which, by the way, I think SpaceX, not I think, I know, SpaceX, they'll be earnings call on August 4th, and I will be going live for that. So make sure you guys tune in for that as well. Not expecting much from call. There has to be something. There has to be something to keep us there, you know. Do they report new report new Tesla owners? I would be interested in seeing a graph of this. What do you mean new Tesla owners, and what, in FSD and in vehicles? What do you mean by this? SpaceX soon to 100. Yeah, I think it's going to go lower than 100, in my opinion. There's more short selling now than there was during the Great Financial Recession in 2008. 10% of the market is now short versus 6% in 2000. I mean, I guess, but again, Trump can change that, right? Trump can say, buy now or sell now, or I did this or you did that, I gotta do that, and he can change it big time. Another disappointment report. Again, I made a video about this guy saying what you guys need to look at, not the revenue and profits and stuff like that. If it's a beat, fantastic. If it's a miss, whatever. The main point was two things: robotaxi and FSD. And the FSD, we got some really interesting numbers that I think I'm happy about. I was very close. I thought 200. I was expecting 220,000 vehicle or FSD subs. I was expecting that, but we got 200,000, which is still good. And robotaxi, we didn't get much of a update in these past 3 months. So let's see what they gotta say here. Interesting to see what the update is here. Don't feel bad. Don't get your emotions involved. Look long term. and you'll do fine. You'll do fine. I'm buying more stock for sure. Never owned a Tesla before. New owners of Tesla cars. So yeah, Tesla definitely has this data, and they did mention to us one time. I don't remember when. I think it was a few years ago. Um, I think it was like 40% or 50%. I don't know. I forgot. Ashok mentioned it. Ashok did mention it, or no, the CFO mentioned it for sure. Let's see. I bet you, Peggy, once Virgin 50 comes there, out there will be flood of robo taxis. Yeah, indeed, that's for sure. But Version 15, I mean, Version 14 could be used for unsupervised, but Version 15, I can only imagine what that thing can do. As a long-term Tesla investor, I see this earning as a positive signal. There we go, got some positivity here. Growth phase trade-off, sacrificing credit margins to build the future. That's exactly what happened in this quarter. Shout out to you, my man. Good one. And yes, I will be buying Tesla stock. I would be. Google is dumping even with a higher EPS. True. After hour stock stabilizing around 365. Let's take a look. Indeed. Feel worse than bad. Again, don't bring your emotions into this, guys. It's not gonna help you. Lately, when earnings turn ish, stock goes up. Yes, but it was a big miss. Like it wasn't like a 5 cents miss or a 4 cents miss. It was a 22-cent miss. Like we were expecting 55. By the way, I have to update it here. No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It was a big miss. It was a big miss. It wasn't even a small miss. If it was a small miss, I don't think they'd be reacting this much. And even with a big miss, the stock's not down as much as it should be, right? So yeah, the problem is the expectations. We expected that by now half the U.S. will be overtaxing. Yes, that is a lot of Tesla investors are upset about that. No doubt about that, for sure. Who actually believe that? Believe what? Wait for the call before you jump ship, people. Yeah. I mean, even look, reading the report, I mean, for me, I'm happy that the fact that FSD subs increased massively. Like, this is a big signal to me. Now, Robotaxi didn't show me what I wanted to see, unfortunately. And I want to see what they're going to say earnings call. But the FSD, that's going to really, really, really do some interesting things. Oh, I forgot to check credits. I mean, credits, how much was that? How much was credits? 364, no. Credits was 146 million. Wow. That's insane. 146 million. Sheesh. Anyways, interesting. What do you think about SpaceX and Tesla now? I mean, my mind hasn't changed on it, to be honest. Are you talking about the merger? Um, merger announcement, if there's going to be one, announcement should happen sometime soon. Your false hope is ruining other people's wallets. I mean, I'm not. Okay, let's just be clear here. I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm not promoting it, anything. We have a big Tesla community, and we all in it for the long term. If you cannot stomach these short-term pains, if you cannot hold stock for this long, Warren Buffett said the best. You gotta accept the fact that your investment could go down 50% and be happy about it. No one is forcing you to hold the stock. I'm buying. So if people are hurting, I'm hurting even more because I have a lot of shares of Tesla. A lot of shares of Tesla. So you can't put the blame on people like me or Herbert or so many other guys who are doing these, videos. You can't put the blame on us because we just see what we see. We see the opportunity, and we go forward. And that's just our thesis. We put our money where our mouth is, and we do it. And we're not telling you guys that you guys should do it or not, or all that kind of stuff. No one is forcing you. You got to do your own research and do it. That's why we say in our financial advice, we still sticking to our long-term vision of this. Nothing has changed. In fact, in this report, it shows how serious they are in building the future. That's important. So don't put the blame on us, false hope, or anything like that. That's not what's it called? That's not right because we're not promoting anything. Sheesh. I feel the frustration though and the anger. I get it. I feel like Robotaxi is going to roll out so slow. We will be seeing small releases into the next year, slowly at first and all at once. When will the all at once happen? That is the main question. The capex on AI is killing the earnings. Mm, no, it's killing the cash flow, not the earnings. The operating expense is what kind of killed the earnings, and lower on vehicle margins and energy. Those things. Investing in Tesla is like investing in a church. That's hilarious. Desperate to have FSC in Spain. Owner, shareholder of Tesla. Owner, shareholder of SpaceX will not sell. Bro, if you're in Spain, contact your ministry. Write them a letter or something. Go like, bro, please look at this FSC and approve it, man. 5 countries in the in Europe has approved it already. Why not? And you guys are getting ride-alongs. I know in Spain Tesla's getting ride-alongs. So come on, man, like do something. Long term is not 5 years, buddy. Long term is 10 years. 5 years is the minimum, right? In Tesla's history, it's been flat for 6 years before 2013, 2019. Then it bumped up because of thing. 10 years is long. 10 years is long term. For me, I bought the stock at 2020, and I'm not doing anything to it until 2030. Then I'll reevaluate. You think from now to 2030, something big is not going to happen to your investment, right? If you've been dollar cost averaging in this entire time, since 2020 till now, you would not be complaining. I'm just saying that right now. Guys who blame others for their loss should not invest. Exactly. Exactly. Just buy the S&P. You can never go wrong with the S&P. It gives it his annual return of 10% at a long term. And again, that's not guaranteed to give you 10% every year. It's just that if you hold over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, your average becomes to 10%. Not adjusted for inflation, by the way, right? That'd be 7% with adjusted inflation. So exactly. Sounds sick, but I did like to see. I don't like to see 300. I like to see 300, so I can buy to hold long term. Yeah, dude. If the stock goes to 300, I think I have to dump my in another. I'm gonna put my investments, my savings in it again. But that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous if it goes below at 300 or below. Insane. I would buy more if you're asking enough financial advice. I would wait until tomorrow. I mean, damn, now the stock's slipping down a little bit. I would wait until tomorrow for sure. I would definitely wait until tomorrow. Your best case here, guys, is just a dollar cost average. Buy 2 or 3 with every paycheck or whatever it is that you guys do. Dollar cost averaging is always the answer here when it comes to companies like Tesla, if it's a long term investment. Yeah, I think the second half 2026. I'm really my expectations are high, to be honest with you guys, for the second half 2026 for FSD and robotaxi. My expectation is pretty darn high. So let's see what happens. Welcome to auditing. The 2025 Big Beautiful Bill hurt Tesla by ending the 7,500 credits. Yeah, yes, sure, but that's half true. I guess, yeah, the credit helped Tesla a lot, but the idea that the credit would actually hurt Tesla's demand, we're actually seeing record numbers of that. Tesla is selling more vehicles than they should. The EV credit was never for Tesla. Was never for Tesla. It was for the other guys that couldn't make profitable EVs, which, by the way, they still can't make profitable EVs, and they're going back to gas cars. And the Chinese are waiting. They're waiting to swallow that market up. Chinese are coming. Tesla's the only leader here in this case. What does our share count look like in a merge? If you have 1,000 shares Tesla, what will you have after merge, and will it be the same dollar value after the merge? So that's a very good question. So let's get one thing straight. If it's going to be any type of merge, you're not going to get one share of one share. No. If you own 1,000 shares of stock, and let's say there's a 50-50 merger, well then think about it this way. If let's say the valuation of Tesla is 2 trillion and SpaceX is 2 trillion, that's 4 trillion. So you don't own 4 trillion, you own 2 trillion. So your one share will become 0.5. It's the same thing essentially. Instead of owning one share of a $2 trillion company, you'll own 0.5 shares of a $4 trillion company. Sorry, of SpaceX. So 0.5 and 0.5, which will equal 1. Like that's how it would be, right? That's how it would be. Um, if it's more than 50% of a merger, like let's say 70-30, then it'll be like zero point 0.7 of SpaceX. Uh, wait, I think I have the calculation wrong. If it's 2 plus 2, you'll get 0.5% of SpaceX. I think that it is. So you get like overall, you still get less shares. You still get less shares of it, but you get more of a bigger pie. Like that's how it works. But I hope we get more than 50% of the entire company, entity. I really do hope that. The smart investors see these dips as opportunity. Exactly. Exactly. Tesla's 150, 200 slide until nah, I disagree with that. Just like you saw 700 PT. I still believe that. I mean, I expect a lot. I expect a lot for the second half of 2026. I really do expect a lot. I do expect at least an all-time high by the end of this year. Despite all this stuff happening, I do expect that because of all the stuff that's happening. Spain needs to patch up the Trump relation. Yeah. FS to follow. I love this drama. I'm rebuying like a madman. Yeah, if it goes below like 350 to 300, I'm buying a lot. I'll pick up some on the slum. See, I love the attitude here, guys. See, this is what long-term investors see. They see the opportunity and they click on it. What I got from this earnings call is that we are sacrificing. Somebody said it perfectly here, and I give them a shout out. They're sacrificing short-term margins for the future. And the signals of FSD growth and stuff, Robotaxi, we need more, light on that. But everything else is looking great. Like this is a good investment for long-term investors. So I love it. I love this optimism. Love it, and positive. Google dumped too. Tesla will definitely go up later. Google beats, and they are down as much as Tesla. That's insane. If Google beat, okay, 12.5%. Carney hates Tesla. Nah, he doesn't hate Tesla. I don't think so. It's always come back up. It always does. Yeah, 100%, Scott. Nice. Thanks for explaining. My pleasure. Spain doesn't need to patch up anything with Trump. Trump needs to do what he stated and was pole of all wars. Part one, Peggy, I've been a Tesla shareholder for 8 years. You'd be doing very well. Big fan of Elon and Tesla. I'm very tempted to dump my long-term position, 1,000 plus now. The price is the last in the last 5 years has not been only consolidating. We'll be very careful because Tesla stock, when it roars up, it does it without warning or notice. It just goes up. And if Wall Street sees that the other S curves and robotaxi and stuff is making a big dent in it, things will change. I'm not advising you to do anything. I'm not a financial advisor, but I mean, you've done pretty well. If you've been holding for the past 8 years, you've 20x your money, right? So I would, if I was in your shoes, I would definitely sell some because 20x your 20xing your investment, it's a lot. You probably have a lot of money in there. I would probably like a little bit diversify it out, right? But as an all-in Tesla investor, I would be buying more, right? I mean, let's see what happens with the earnings call, but I would definitely be buying more. If you need the money, up to you. Do what you gotta do. But if you don't need it, and if you can hold on for like another year or two, I think you won't regret it. That's just my thinking. Not advice, just my saying. Not a financial advisor, but my thinking. The 1.4 million FSC subs number is encouraging, very encouraging. 200,000 news FSC subs is going to increase more and more as the quarters go by. I missed the guidance. Dude, the business call was a good. No, the guidance. Still haven't. We are 15 minutes out until then. So let's go to here for now. Let me see. Yeah, I'll come back to this. So you didn't miss anything. Earnings report you did miss, but earnings call not yet. Part two, I've gained nothing but up and down drama. I see no light at the end of the tunnel. FSC robotaxi revenue is a drop in the ocean. Optimus is a nice dream. The SpaceX merge, maybe a little motivation. I think I just gave you some motivation. That's my thoughts. Earnings call soon, though. Yeah, Tesla fanboys are delusional, including myself. Love it. Low dips are gifts. Love it. As a Mid Eastern, do you support this war? Bro, I don't want to get political on this channel, man. I'm sorry. I'm also in a region where I shouldn't be talking about this stuff. So unfortunately, I cannot talk about that. I just want things to end quick so I can have good night's sleeps and not drones flying around. So let's put it that way. Remember, Kathy was price target 2600. Well, she did say 2600 by 2027 or 8. Then she's like 2029. And Tesla is one of those stocks that it shoots up to that. Remember 2020, 2021, guys? Remember back in 2013 as well, how it just shot up? Tesla does this. Tesla does this. You see no light, stop watching these YouTube videos in the market. Sheesh. The end of 2029 at 2030. My price target for 2030, it's been since 2020, 3,000 bucks per share. So let's see what happens. I believe Kathy Wood has 20% of the portfolio in Tesla. Yeah, they have a lot. So yes, do Kuwait people get free money from the government selling oil? I'm not a Kuwaiti. I'm a Canadian. Um, and the Kuwaitis that I know here, they do give universal income to them. They do get that. Yes, they do. And because of the oil they sell, yeah, they do that. That is a fact. All right, less than 15 minutes, guys, until we begin the earnings call. Again, positives, FSC subs. Robotaxi, not so much. I expected more, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, make sure you guys smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, um, I do want to. Here's the thing: I do want to talk about other stocks, but I can't do it because I'm just so all in on Tesla. I have to have an open mind. I have to not be all in on Tesla in order to talk about other stocks because there are other stocks that I think are going to do very well in the future. Um, but that's going to happen sometime in the future. I'll be talking about SpaceX but I'm too invested in Tesla, and that's why all my videos are about Tesla related. Yeah, let this thing 10-20x, then we can diversify into other stocks because I think there's other good opportunities out there. I think we'll do pretty well. Sheesh. By the way, guys, I do want to mention one thing. I may be getting a Tesla here in Kuwait, so expect to see some videos of that coming soon. Unfortunately, there ain't no FSD here, unfortunately. But yeah, you'll see. I'll show you guys the infrastructure on how it is here and all that goodies. So yeah, exciting stuff. I can't wait. All right. So, oh no, why did I click on that? Okay. So, okay, back to where we were. 13 minutes until then. So, yeah, guys, we got like 12 minutes left. And let's see what happens. What model of Tesla? It's a 3. Yeah, it's a Model 3, white color, which is perfect for the Middle East because right now in Kuwait, guys, the temperature is reaching 60 degrees here. It's madness. I'll make a video about it once. I think when I do get it, I should be getting it any day now. I'm very excited for it. I'll show you guys how the car reacts in 60-degree weather, the battery life, and how it, you know, uh, reacts, all that kind of stuff. I think it'll be a very interesting video. I think a lot of people, the demand for Tesla in Kuwait is very high, by the way. People who are selling it, they get sold quick, which is why I'm saying Tesla, come to Kuwait already. You're going to sell a lot of Teslas here. You will sell a lot of Teslas here. BYD is here. BYD, electric BYD is here, and they're selling quite a bit. I understand why they're not coming here. So, but they'll do good business here. They'll do very good business here. Well, and the stock keeps slipping, 3.25 going down. Let's see. Hardware 3 or hardware 4? It's hardware 4. It's a 2025 model. 2025 model. Yes. All right. Let's see. Okay. 440 gems. Unk alert. Uncle, guys, this UNC. Am I an uncle? Like, what does this mean? What is an uncle alert? What the heck is that? Someone explain this to me. Uncle alert. That is hilarious. Celsius. Yes, Celsius. 60 degrees Celsius. Yeah, Celsius. Again, what's going on here? Henry, what are you doing here, man? Unk alert? What is that? What's an unk alert, bro? What the hell is that? Thank you, flocking gamer. Thank you. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. Yeah, PE will go up for sure. Yeah, it'll go up for sure. Um, right. Okay. How long do we have until this begins? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Uh, Imris, Ernesto from Bayron Bay. Hello, Ernesto. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. That's 140F. That's nuts. Yeah, it's insane, dude. Like it's inhumane that the temperature here, 60 degrees, without AC, we can't do anything. It's crazy. It's honestly just like you can fry an egg out there without oil and stuff like that. You can bake cookies in a flipping car. You can bake a whole cake in a car. It's crazy how hot it is. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Tesla can do here. So yes. All right. Let's see. Okay, just doing some research here. Okay, how many more minutes? Less than 10 minutes. So let's get ready. I got food here too because I'm starving, to be honest with you guys. Smash that like button, guys. If you guys haven't already, hit subscribe. If you guys haven't, I will be doing an update on this tomorrow after I sit down and do some updates. So it's going to be really interesting on what my uh, forecast is going to look like after this. Let's see. All right. 8 minutes. Let's go. All righty. Alrighty. So what are y'all saying here? Elon wants to keep the stock under 400 for his own purpose. I don't think so. It's just that they happen to do investment and stuff. I'm Gary from Surfers Paradise, Australia. I'd love to visit Australia one day. Preset the car AC before you go out and drive. Yes, this I know. This I know I can do that. But I want to see what the battery life and stuff, how that's going to impact. MDM incorrect, and Elon cannot change the stock exactly. Tesla, worst investment I've ever made. I don't think so. If you've been dollar cost averaging for the past 5 years, I don't think it was a worst investment. Henry, when Robotaxi deploys thousands and it could be December or later. I got my first Tesla in September and paid 8K for lifetime FSD. Very nice. Very nice. Got it for 40%. Wow. What a deal. What a deal. That's a deal. That is a flipping deal. That is a sheesh deal. Sheesh. Let's go on X. Let's see what's going on X. Very interesting to see what's going on X. Tesla says they achieved record FSD. Yes, we know this. Can't get any worse. Oh, wait. It's a pretty walk-off ASC. Q1-2026 pull this together. Overall, it seems the volume increases we thought would drive higher EPS was offset by poor pricing and mix. Energy profits was quite poor. Okay. Energy, yes, that's a good chart. I like this chart a lot. Services is growing massively. Energy is growing. Automotive for this quarter is also growing. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. We need more cities and kind of egg as well. This depends on increases on-site compute capacity in Texas in the second half of 4 megawatts. Yep, that's 60% from June 2026 and 200 increase. And the investment is insane. CERN, gotta love him. Can't hate on CERN. Very good, intelligent man. Love him. Want to bring him back on the channel soon. After all this, we need some good numbers. I've been watching every Tesla earnings release for released live for at least the past 7 years. But as we look at the butterflies, yeah, I love it. Optimus awakening, indeed, indeed, indeed. Stop wasting your time. Yeah, AJ, he's turned. Look, I love his reports, but AJ, come on, man. We both know long term this is a good thing. We both know that. Lots of cybercap coming, 125. Yeah, not maybe next year or the year after that. Remember, these guys are coming without streamers and pedals, unless they make a version of it that has a streamer and pedal. If they do, take my money right now. 5 minutes, 5 minutes until. What the hell's that noise? Okay. Delete. I love it. Tesla reveals none of its 285 cores sold in 2026. Nice. We are in a singularity. Okay. Yeah. Justin ability missile targeted king. Wow, another interesting. Grinds my gears when spying QQ pumping, but Tesla isn't. Look, S&P is a safe investment, to be honest with you guys. Oh, though that is pretty cool. Some very serious mods. Yeah. What I would do is I would put this into a convertible. Oh, I love to have a Tesla convertible. Oh, that's a performance. Sheesh. Yeah. Interesting mods. By the way, the World Cup, guys. Do you guys watch the World Cup? Totally forgot about the World Cup. I was rooting for France to win. They played very well. But, thank you, Spain, for saving football. Love it. Did they start? Okay, it looks like something has started. Let me go ahead and put this. 1 second. Let me put this on. I know you guys can't hear it. I will go ahead and let's see. Do this. Let's share the file. Let's go ahead the entire screen. Let's share audio. There we go. Share it. Okay. Are we hearing anything? I'm not hearing anything. Are we hearing anything? I don't hear any music playing. Oh, I think I know why. Do you guys hear music? I don't hear music. You guys hear music? I gotta kind of reduce that down. Okay. Let me go. Okay, you guys can hear, but I can't hear it. That's crazy. Let me see why that's the case. Audio. Oh, I think I know why. I know why I can't hear it. Let me change my settings in my own computer. There we go. I can hear it. Nice. All right, cool. We can, yeah, not now because I reduced the volume because this is copyrighted music and I will get a strike if I don't reduce that, right? So I'm going to reduce the volume on that. So yeah, nice. Good stuff. So they should be starting any time. Did they start? No, they didn't start. Not yet. It should start anytime now. Stock is now going down 3%. Again, staying flat in the 360. Let's see what happens. I will bounce back between this and the stock, or maybe I can do both, actually. Let me do that. Let me go put this one here, put the stock right here. Let's see what, oh, this is amazing. This is going to be a lot of fun. Can I put this on full screen? Oh, no, full screen will be like that. Never mind. Now let's keep it like that. Yeah, this is great. We can see what the stock does based on what Elon talks about. I think this will be fantastic. Good stuff. As well as, guys, I will be muting my mic when I what's it called when the earnings call starts. So you guys want to increase your volume if it's quiet, right? So yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be Interesting. It's going to be a good report. Sorry, not a good report. It's going to be a interesting. Um, it's called interesting earnings call. I just hope Elon has energy, man. I really hope Elon has energy. Yeah, why not Korea? I saw that in the comments. Why not Korea? Why was I not voting for Korea? I was rooting for the underdogs. But we all knew that they were biased against Argentina. We know that. Let's see. Good. You guys can hear the music. That's good stuff. Are you happy now? Am I happy now? Happy about what? I'm not happy about the earnings report. To be honest, I think, I really wish that it was a better, you know, outcome, not 33 cents. Because I really wanted the fundamentals to go up, man. Really want the bottom line to go up, like, but it didn't. And let's see what happens next quarter. But there were some good things there that I liked, which is the FSC subscriptions, and we need more information about the robot taxi, which I think we'll get here. Remember, guys, this question right here is the most important one. Can you guys see it here? Yeah, we go. You guys can see it here. Perfect. This one, Tesla has missed this one. Very important question. If you can get answered properly, I will be very happy about it. Yeah. So let's see what happens with that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Sheesh. Make sure you all smash that like button if you guys haven't. And yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens in this earnings call. Very excited to see what happens, and it should be starting any minute now because it's 12:30 a.m. or p.m. Um, 5:30 p.m. at your time. Let's see. Yes, 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 yes. All right, so you guys can hear the music still. I'm a little scared. I really don't want to get another copyright strike or whatever, so I'm going to reduce it even more. There we go. Let's see, let's see, let's see. All right. Oh, I will be doing updates on X as well on the way. So let's see. What if they come out and say all the current cyber cabs that are on standby will be on roads in 1 week? If bro, if they come and say this, GG, stocks going up. Big time. Big time. Like if they come out and they say that, if they actually give this timeline, that means they are certain this is going to happen. Oh, I hear quietness. It's begun. It's begun. Let's go. I'm gonna mute myself. What? You guys can't hear? What happened? That's ridiculous. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. Damn it. Okay. There we go. That's why. There.
A lot of people, they're actually buying
You guys should
Tesla
hear
full
now.
self-driving with a car attached,
You
as
check.
opposed to a car with FSD. They're coming into our stores in the US and saying they want the full self-driving, and with whatever car it comes with, essentially. So clearly, this is a significant demand driver, and as we get approval for FSD in uh, different countries, I think we'll see a similar uptick in demand. So yeah, it's looking very good on that front. The energy business is also growing incredibly fast, and I think will be um, crucial for the scale up of artificial intelligence data centers. Um, we're investing a lot in growing the core business, and really preparing for the future. So this is a massive capex year, but I'm confident that all the things that we're investing in are will yield incredible returns. Really, maybe the best capex returns that we've ever seen. And just the the Tesla team has performed incredibly well. The Cybercab has started production, and we also have started production and are ramping in. Well, we will soon start production with Optimus. We have started production with the Tesla semi truck. We will soon start production with Megapack 3. We've started production with the lithium refinery, the cathode refinery. We're scaling up battery cell production, and we're also preparing to do a massive solar panel, like solar cells and panel production. Actually, this is going all the way from silicon refinement to producing the solar cell, and then deployment of solar, because there's going to be tremendous need for electricity in the future due to electrification of transport and AI, obviously. So we're working on what we believe is the most ambitious build-out of advanced infrastructure and manufacturing capacity ever in history. It's a big deal. So with Robotaxi, our goals are very ambitious for Robotaxi, but we do need to be cautious about causing any accidents or causing any harm to anyone. Although there are, I think, 30 to 40,000 automotive deaths per year in the United States alone, most of those do not generate any press on it. You never really read about almost any of those. But if we injure even one person, it will be worldwide headline news, and regulators will immediately clamp down on our activities. So, and we don't want to injure anyone. So we're going as fast as humanly possible in scaling Robotaxi, but while trying to ensure that we do not harm anyone at all, and ideally do not even run over a pet. So that's really the constraint. Is we want to grow as fast as possible with Robotaxi without harm to anyone. And we're providing live updates for Robotaxi launch as we open up in a city. We immediately post that on X. So if you just follow the Tesla account on X, we'll keep you informed as we scale to new cities. We've opened up in a number of cities in Florida and in Texas, and obviously in the Bay Area. So we'll continue to scale, I think, very very rapidly with it looks like more than 10% a week in terms of miles driven. So it's a very high compound growth rate. So let's see, Optimus. As you've heard me say before, I think Optimus will be the biggest product ever, but it is a very complex problem to solve. It's one of the hardest things to solve, to make an autonomous humanoid robot that can do tasks that if you simply ask it to do something or show it a video, it can do the task without any programming. Like no one's ever achieved this, and there are many challenges in the electromechanical design of the robot to achieve sufficient dexterity and also be very reliable and have long wear and tear. Like meaning it needs to be out in the field and not break down. Otherwise, you've got sort of a 70-kilogram robot that just flopped over, and you've got to carry it out like a body. It doesn't have wheels. So and we don't want Optimus to go haywire. It's a lot of work to scale to get the design right and to scale production. And I really want to emphasize here that the production scaling challenge is a very substantial. This is going to be the hardest product to scale manufacturing that we've ever made at Tesla, because everything on the robot is new. And the difficulty of scaling the production ramp is proportionate to the newness of the parts in the robot. And at least with electric cars, the non-electric powertrain portions of the cars had an existing supply chain. So you could go to existing suppliers for wheels and side mirrors and windshield glass and that kind of thing, body panels. But with Optimus, there is no supply chain. So we've had to build up a supply chain in its entirety, or in-house the production, and we actually in-house a tremendous amount. The Optimus production line that we're building out in Fremont, in place of what used to be the Model SX production, it looks incredible. I mean, it's quite stunning to see. So I just want to make sure to calibrate people correctly. Optimus will follow the sort of normal S curve of manufacturing of a manufacturing ramp, but the initial portion of the X curve will be quite flat and long because of the newness of the parts in the robot. Now you've probably seen lots of impressive demonstrations of robots on the internet, but those demonstrations you're seeing are pre-programmed or remote controlled. So there is no humanoid robot that is actually able to do generalized tasks. Optimus will be the first one that is capable of doing that, where it's not just a demo; it's genuinely useful in day-to-day life. So, and Optimus is designed to have full human dexterity, so a hand that has the same level of dexterity, if not higher, than a human hand. And the human hand is an incredible thing. The more you study the human hand, the more amazing you realize how amazing hands are. It's more than just opposable thumbs. I mean, the nuances of how human hands work are amazing. As the closer you look, the more amazed you are. And Optimus will have that capability. You'll have human and then superhuman dexterity. So it's really going to be quite something. Let's see, Terafab. The Terafab, we expect to announce the location soon, and provide more details about our plans in that regard, which we'll leave that to the product, sort of the launch announcement, rather than try to squeeze it into an earnings call, because I think this is a very big announcement, and it deserves to have its own sort of day in the spotlight and not be sort of squeezed into an earnings call. But I do think Terafab is going to be an amazing initiative and a necessary one, and one without which we will be constrained in our ability to scale Optimus production, because we simply won't have enough AI chips. So it's crucial to solve that, and we'll have to solve memory, logic, and packaging in order to scale Optimus. But anyway, like I said, we'll leave that to its own announcement. We've placed equipment orders for our development fab in Austin, and that development fab, I think, is pretty cool because it's intended to have lithography mask production, and then logic, memory, and packaging and chip testing all under one roof. So you can have a very fast iterative cycle, and try out new chip designs very quickly and see if they work. I don't think such a building exists anywhere on Earth. So this is really going to be super helpful as we try some exciting, adventurous, high risk, high payoff bets on AI chips. But it focused, like I said, primarily on Optimus. Like, how do we make Optimus as useful as possible? Then we have digital Optimus, which is basically driving a computer screen. I guess you could call it computer use or something like that. But driving a computer screen in the same way that you drive a car. So for the car, it's sort of pixels in or photons in and controls out. The same thing is true for Optimus and digital Optimus. It's photons in, controls out. So we feel confident we can adapt the same Tesla AI technology that we developed for self-driving cars to have a self-driving computer screen, or self-driving computer, essentially. So the self-driving computer, where the Tesla, the very low cost Tesla AI4 computer can handle all of the sort of short-term tasks. They're doing real-time video control of the screen of the computer. So it's not like screenshots type of thing. It's real-time video at high frame rate. And digital Optimus will be important, obviously, for physical Optimus, because physical Optimus needs to be able to operate computers. It can't come up to a touchscreen and not know what to do. It's got to have a generalized touchscreen and computer use capability. So that's looking promising. Then this is in partnership with SpaceX's Grok, so the big model that is kind of like the manager of Digital Optimus, and kind of tells Digital Optimus what to do, provides it with a series of tasks, and then Digital Optimus goes and does those tasks. We're also building out a megapod design that has Tesla AI4 computers with x86. So pairing x86 computer with the Tesla AI4 computer in a box. And it's kind of just Digital Optimus in a box. And in a megapod, kind of like the Megapack packaging. And so where we put just a large number of AI4 plus x86 combos in a giant box, essentially. And that these boxes can be placed anywhere in the country or outside the country. And this allows us to scale AI compute using disaggregated electricity production. So because there's lots of places all around the world, including at our superchargers. I think we've got something like 7 gigawatts of power at our superchargers and growing. And we can place megapods at many of these superchargers and have distributed power for AI. So I think that could be quite a big deal. So in conclusion, we're super excited about our autonomy and robotics roadmap. There's so much awesome stuff coming. It's like I said, hard to squeeze into an earnings call. But we'll have a lot of product announcements. And this is going to be a great year for Tesla. I think one of our best years ever. And then I think next year will be even better. So in conclusion, I want to thank the Tesla team for their excellent execution and all of our supporters for joining us in this journey. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Elon. And now Vaibhav has some opening remarks.
Thanks, Travis. So Q2 continued the trend that we saw at the end of Q1, a resurgence in demand for vehicles across the globe. We achieved record Q2 deliveries globally with sequential growth across the Americas, APAC, and EMEA of 60%, 27%, and 12% respectively. Additionally, Model Y set records in several key markets, including the Netherlands, Australia, and New Zealand. The efforts of the Tesla team to create compelling products at a reasonable price with the capability of autonomous driving are coming to fruition. We exited Q2 with our largest order backlog since 2023. We are therefore focused on increasing production at all our factories to meet this growing demand. Production growth will be limited by our supply chain. This includes not just batteries, but also electronic components. We've been here before, and like always, our Tesla team is working actively to unblock the obstacles ahead by securing strategic deals with suppliers. Like Elon mentioned, one of the key factors for vehicle demand has been FSD. Our sales data suggests One of the main reasons customers are coming and looking at the car is because of FSD. In Q2, we had in North America about 55% of our deliveries had FSD subscription at the time of delivery enabled. Overall, FSD attach rates continue to improve, reaching nearly 1.5 million paid customers globally, of which 55% is upfront purchases and the remaining 45% is subscriptions. We expect that the bulk of the growth in FSD monetization will come from subscriptions as we've removed the purchase option in most markets. Automotive margins, excluding regulatory credits, declined sequentially from 19.2% to 16.3%. As a reminder, we had highlighted in Q1 that we had a $230 million benefit from warranty true downs and some tariff relief, which did not repeat in Q2. Controlling for the impact of those benefits from the prior quarter, our automotive gross margins, excluding credits, would have been approximately flat. This demonstrates the effective pricing and cost management done by the Tesla team as we continue to drive demand. Commodity price increases and interest rate changes all continue to add to our costs. Note that interest rate subvention costs are recognized upfront as revenue offset. So as interest rates have risen this year, the cost of subvention has risen along with them, which had a negative impact on automotive margins. As we have previously noted, energy business is inherently lumpy. Deployments are tied to customer timelines and largely out of our control. In Q2, we deployed 13.5 gigawatt hour of energy storage, a 53% sequential increase, and the second largest quarter for energy business. Despite this growth, energy gross margins declined from 39.5% to 20.4%. This margin decline was a result of several dynamics. First, there was a warranty true-up in the quarter of about $240 million related to certain vendor cell issues for our legacy deployments. Also, the tariff benefits we recognized in Q1 of more than $200 million did not repeat. And lastly, we had previously guided that ASPs for industrial storage is coming down amidst growing competition. Long term, we believe the energy business should normalize at a gross margin rate in the mid to low 20% range. Our order backlog of this business is robust, and we are doing our best to build based on both existing demand and future demand we expect from data center growth and overall electrification of the economy. Service and other margins improved sequentially from 9.2% to 14.1%, an all-time high. This was mainly driven by an uptick in volume and better cost management of our vehicle fleet that supports businesses such as used car, supercharging, service centers, and insurance. While marginal today, also included in this business are deliberate investments we are making in infrastructure that will help scale robotaxi in the future. We continue to grow the Tesla robotaxi fleet and have expanded to a total of 7 markets in the US. We expect the ramp of the fleet to accelerate throughout the year, along with expansion into new US markets. As previously guided, operating expenses increased sequentially. The increase came primarily from significant research and development related activities, including pre-production ramp costs for new products like the semi-truck, Optimus, Cybercab, and other AI initiatives, as well as depreciation for an additional compute that we brought online. Additionally, we had charges related to litigation expenses in the quarter. Note that we are in a big investment cycle and expect our operating expenses, largely driven by R&D, to continue to grow in 2026 and beyond. Net income was positively impacted by a mark-to-market gain of $1 billion on our SpaceX holdings, which was offset by losses on FX of approximately $300 million and on Bitcoin of about $100 million. As previously guided, our free cash flow ended up being negative for the quarter. Most of the reason for it going negative is because CapEx more than doubled sequentially, and we expect it to increase further in the second half of 2026. We continue to expect that CapEx for this year will be more than $25 billion. CapEx will grow for the next 2 or 3 years as we expand our robotaxi fleet, expand our production capacity for Optimus, make investments for semiconductor fab, install solar manufacturing capacity, and AI compute infrastructure, in addition to all the other expansions we'll do for other manufacturing for automotive. In addition to using our cash for such investments, we are being opportunistic in securing certain debt facilities that will give us the capacity to borrow up to $30 billion to help accelerate such investments. We believe this is the right strategy to position the company for the next era, and we'll always make such investment in a very capital efficient manner. The path to amazing abundance is ever challenging and requires making bold bets. Our progress will be non-linear. The future is going to be great, and we are ready to rise to the occasion. I would like to end by thanking the Tesla team, our customers, investors, and suppliers for their confidence in us on this journey.
Thanks so much, Vaibhav. As everyone on the call may have noticed, we've covered several of the say.com questions already in opening remarks, including Optimus production, Terafab, and Digital Optimus. Ashok is joining us today, our VP of AI, and he's going to cover questions related to robotaxi. Ashok?
Thank you, Travis. Many of the questions on say.com relate to robotaxi deployment and scaling, so we thought we'd provide a comprehensive view of where we are now and where we are going in the future. First of all, I'd like to state that the robotaxi program has been operating extremely well. Especially in terms of safety, the program has had an impeccable safety record. We have driven more than 380,000 miles of unsupervised robotaxi, now across 6 cities in 2 different states. We have had 0 notable incidents. Any reports have been of other actors impacting us when we were stationary. Again, I like to emphasize how safe the operation has been so far. 0 notable incidents over 380,000 miles. Historically, the so-called experts have always claimed that you need LiDARs, radars, HD maps, and the entire kitchen sink to drive safely. Here we show that such is not true. You can have safe, comfortable, and affordable autonomy with just cameras. This record should be a huge validation of Tesla's entire AI approach. Second, I'd like to discuss scaling. We started the robotaxi program roughly a year ago in Austin. We had safety monitors in the passenger seats of the cars back then. Around the end of last year, we had the first fully unsupervised robotaxis in Austin. Since the beginning of this year, we have grown at double-digit growth rates to the number of unsupervised miles that the fleet drives every week. I repeat, we have grown at such a high compounding rate on a week-over-week basis over the last several months. Not only that, we expect to continue growing at such a large rate through the rest of this year. The other thing to note is that for expanding to new cities, it has been relatively less effort on our front. We expect that the time to launch to a new city will continue to trend towards 0, towards an end where we operate in entire states as a whole instead of going by city by city. Such growth was only possible because we have a world-class engineering team at the frontier AI development here at Tesla. The currently operating robotaxi fleet is already running early versions of the V15 FSD software that we had referred to in the past. For V15, we had planned roughly about 7 major improvement tracks, and they're all happening in parallel. The early V15 builds that are running on robotaxi have already 40% of those tracks merged together, and that's what's running in the fleet right now. As we continue to complete our work on V15, we will see that the car is going to be ridiculously safe and capable. We're already seeing internal signs that all of these bets that we have made for technology improvements are all starting to work, and we expect that the payoff will be huge, and that's what is going to help us sustain the same growth rate through the rest of this year and so on. Finally, regarding the Cybercab, first of all, it's a phenomenal product. Anyone who rides in it instantly falls in love with the experience. We have aligned our manufacturing targets to roughly match the projected growth rate of the unsupervised miles. The same V15 models that power the Model Y and other platforms will also work on cybercabs. In conclusion, robotaxi growth so far has been literally exponential while keeping an impeccable safety record. Our technology bets are paying off, helping us sustain the exponential growth for the foreseeable future, and the cybercab is going to be awesome.
That's great. Thanks so much, Ashok. And there was one remaining question on data collection for Optimus training. Would you mind covering that as well?
Yep, definitely. Regarding Optimus, especially Gen 3, Optimus has been designed to not just match the appearance of human beings, but also the functionality and dexterity of humans. One of the main reasons for this approach is that having the human form factor and function allows us to learn from humans on how to perform a wide variety of tasks. This opens up the entire world to provide data for training Optimus. Just like FSD, we have access to a broad fleet of humans giving us data from all of the workers at our factory. Optimus can learn quite a bit from observing them perform their tasks at the factories. We also have a dedicated data collection team who can provide a relatively small amount, but of very high quality demonstrations to do the post-training of these models. This is all on top of any training we can do off of the entire internet of data that shows demonstrations of people doing various tasks, both in industrial settings and home settings. The second flywheel is when we have a large number of Optimus robots practicing their tasks in what we call the Optimus Academy. The data from the bots experiencing the tasks themselves will be invaluable and help us close any minor form factor gaps that may exist between the bot and the humans. This is also when the reinforcement learning loop kicks in, where the bot initially attempts some tasks, fails sometimes, learns from both the successes and failures of those tasks, and eventually learns to master those tasks at perhaps a superhuman level. Our AI strategy for Optimus is aligned with the same. It's the same end-to-end strategy that drives FSD, pixels in, controls out. And just like FSD, we expect it to work broadly. In FSD, you can get in the car, type in an address, and then hit start, and it's like handles all of driving from park to park. And the same thing is going to be true for Optimus as well. You're going to just ask it to do anything, and then it should just perform the entire task on its own without you having to do anything along the way. And it's the same team that produced the FSD, the V12, 13, 14, and now V15 software that now works on Optimus as well. And so I'm very confident that Optimus will be an extremely capable robot.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashok. So that covers the say.com questions. Now we will move over to analyst questions. The first question comes from Tom from RBC. Tom, please feel free to unmute yourself when you're ready. Tom, you're still on mute, so please unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question. All right, we're not getting any audio from Tom at the moment, so we will try to move on to Andrew, and we'll add Tom back to the queue to come in next. So Andrew, as soon as you can, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking the question. So maybe just to start out on Optimus, Elon, you mentioned that there's really no supply chain today for Optimus, so you've had to mostly insource a lot of that yourself. I'm just curious, as you've gone through this exercise, are you seeing any suppliers willing to invest alongside you to set up domestic manufacturing to potentially help you scale more quickly in the U.S.? Asking that in the context of obviously, you want to control your own destiny to some extent and ramp as quickly as possible, but from an investment cycle standpoint, potentially more capital efficient to have some partners, help you along the way. So I'm just curious how you're thinking about that and some of the dialogue you've had with potentially some external suppliers.
Elon, you may be on mute right now. We can't hear you.
So yeah, our supplies have been have been great, and they've made they have made and are making tremendous investments in support of Optimus and robotaxi and whatnot. Samsung and TSMC in particular are building fabs, TSMC in Arizona and Samsung in Texas, and putting in tens of billions of dollars to build AI compute for Optimus and robotaxi. Panasonic has also invested many billions in increasing battery cell production. I'm a little under the weather here. I'm a bit ill, so if I sound a little off, I'm kind of struggling with I'm a little bit ill today. So yeah, but our partners have been great, and I'd like to thank them for their support and their investment and their hard work.
Great,
Go ahead,
thanks for that. And maybe just as a
So,
follow-up.
sorry, Andrew, we're going to have Karn hop in here for additional color briefly.
Yeah, just to add to Elon's point, that the Samsung fab, that's going to be pretty significantly dedicated to future projects. That's a massive investment, multi-billion-dollar. We're seeing the same level of investment going to memory, and also new specific parts like metal injection molded parts, flexible printed circuits, and all sorts of novel new technologies that are more based for the robot as opposed to the traditional vehicle supply chain we've had. And in certain cases where we don't find a great partner, we've never hesitated from insourcing it, and we have a very capable manufacturing engineering team and a design team that helps us scale those things.
Yeah, and actually, I'd also like to thank Micron for giving us a memory allocation. They're going to make some very tough decisions on memory allocation, and we really appreciate Micron making room for Tesla in the years to come, and giving us actually a very significant allocation on reasonable terms, given the pretty insane pricing of memory these days.
Great. Really appreciate that color. And maybe just my follow-up on robotaxis. You guys gave a lot of great, information in your prepared remarks, but, there seems to be some evolving regulations at the state level, potentially around sensor requirements. So I'm just curious, as you think about your own rollout, what do you want to see, or what do you need to see from regulators to make sure that, obviously some regulation might be good, but you don't want it to be overregulated. So what are you expecting to see? What do you want to see to make sure that this is, done in a proper way?
And we've got Lars on the line. Lars, if you wouldn't mind covering this one, if you can.
Yeah, sure, Travis. I think, we talk about regulation, particularly in the US, we've made a lot of headway. Just good initiatives from the federal government in terms of the FMVSS rules, moving towards, acceptance and adoption of purely built AVs, and I really appreciate the support from NHTSA on that. When it comes to like a state-to-state level, obviously the stuff in New Jersey, is a little bit disheartening. I think ultimately, as Ashok said in his opening remarks, we really focus on the performance of the vehicle, and ultimately that's what's going to drive regulators and the public to adopt it. I think the best regulations are those that provide companies and innovators with a goal or a task and allow us to figure out the solution. And when we see regulations that provide a solution before identifying the problem, we really don't, appreciate those. But as Tesla always has and will continue to do, we'll let our performance speak for itself. And I think Ashok played that out really clearly, and that'll be the foundation of our expansion moving forward.
Great. Thanks for the questions.
Thanks so much. We're going to try Tom again from RBC. Tom, can you unmute and try to speak, please? Unfortunately, Tom, we see you unmuted, but we're not hearing you, so we're going to have to send you back into the queue. Next is Alex from Bank of America. Alex, as soon as you can, please unmute yourself.
Hey, thanks for the questions here. Just a few follow-ups on robotaxi, actually. I guess, what milestones should investors be watching from here that would cause you to accelerate your fleet scaling or market deployments? Is it the further safety validation, like a miles driven per incident or something else? And then would you ever consider third-party distribution partnerships, such as with rideshare providers, to increase utilization, or is the plan for now to keep robotaxi fully vertically integrated? Thanks.
Yeah, we expect to be vertically integrated with robotaxi as we are in the rest of our business. So I don't think we're going to have any demand challenges with robotaxi. So this is but the economics will be so compelling that I think we will really have a lot more desire to use the service than like I think demand will outstrip our ability to service the demand. And so obviously there's no you can just go vertical in that situation. So it's really just about going through and what we call the march of nines of reliability, where you need like how many nines of reliability do you need to scale? Ideally, you want 99.99999% reliable, um, and so it's just the march of nines of reliability is I think the only thing really constraining our growth in robotaxi.
Great. Thanks, Elon. The next question is going to come from Colin at Wells Fargo. Colin, please unmute yourself when you're ready.
Oh, great. Thanks for taking my questions. There's been a lot of chatter about SpaceX and Tesla combining in some way. I mean, a lot of collaboration already today. I mean, Elon, do you see synergies eventually from combining the companies? And does that make sense from your perspective over time?
Well, I mean, as you can tell from all the many collaborations on so many fronts with SpaceX, and there's a lot there's more and more overlap, especially with Terafab. That's really going to be a gigantic project. So, but obviously we can't talk about combining companies and that kind of thing on an earnings call. It's got to be done with the appropriate process. And with that, I'll turn it over to Brandon, our General Counsel.
Yeah, no, thanks, Elon. And that's exactly right. We continue to benefit from our relationship with SpaceX, and they've been a great partner, and we have numerous beneficial transactions with them. And earlier this year, we deepened our relationship through an investment and a framework agreement. And this will allow us to continue to work with them on projects that Elon mentioned, like Terafab and Digital Optics.
Yeah, and there's many other things too. Obviously, you've got Grok in the car, and Grok helping drive Digital Optimus. You've also got Starlink being integrated into the Cybercab, and Starlink will be integrated into all of our vehicles, at least for markets that Starlink is active. Because for a robotaxi situation, you need to have coverage everywhere. And there are many places, even in Silicon Valley, where the cellular coverage is terrible or sometimes non-existent, which is surprising for Silicon Valley. But I know when I drive to work, those first 10-15 minutes, I can't actually do any calls because the cellular connectivity is so bad. So we can't have robotaxis getting stuck in these like Bermuda triangles of lack of cellular connectivity. So Starlink, with its ability to do connectivity anywhere, is actually quite important. So we don't have robotaxis missing in action. And then obviously if people are sitting in the car, they're going to want to do high productivity stuff or what entertainment. And with Starlink, you can watch 4K live sports in the car, and with very low cost per gigabyte of data. That's really not feasible via the cellular system. And there's many other situations.
Yeah, I mean, I would say think of it like Ashok was mentioning about Cybercab, right? That the experience is great. In a world when you don't have to focus on driving, you have all the time in the car to do, whether it's a conference call, watch a movie or anything. That's why if you look at the Cybercab design, it has a big screen, and we've started doing cybercab rides in our factory in Austin. And when you go through that experience, soon customers would be able to do it in not too distant future. And then you'll understand why that connectivity becomes so important.
Great. And then Colin, do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, just if I would follow up on robotaxi, if I look at the launches, you've been adding cities, but the number of units is still, looks like based on media reports, sort of in the dozens as opposed to hundreds. Why not just sort of scale up Austin or one or two cities before adding cities, and sort of what do you need to sort of get that higher volume numbers in a major city? What sort of is the roadblock to sort of adding more vehicles on the ground?
Yeah, the reason we have been expanding across different cities instead of just doubling down on a single city is that we want to make sure that our stack is a very general one. It is a general one. We just want to both prove to ourselves and to other folks that it is working across a lot of different cities without too much effort per city. And that's what we see internally. And then, as Elon mentioned earlier, the growth rate has been literally exponential. Just it's in the early part of the exponential. That's why it's hard for others to comprehend. In terms of miles versus the vehicles, since these vehicles operating the robotaxi fleet drive basically continuously, as opposed to human drivers who use vehicles for maybe a couple hours a day or something like that, these vehicles are in mostly continuous operation, which means that even for a few vehicles, you can get a lot of miles out of them. And that's why we are tracking the amount of unsupervised miles or just the number of vehicles or something like that. And we want to be operating in a very efficient fleet. So all of the work that goes into the efficiency makes it even more so that we get a lot of miles per vehicle available in the fleet.
Yeah, and just to add further to this, think of it, we're trying to scale this, and we're trying to make sure that there are different kinks which would be there. And there are things not just on the software front, on the operation front, which we're also trying to tackle. So that's why we're trying to have a broader footprint to try and make sure before we go really high in terms of deployment, that we are able to sort these things out in a smaller fleet in a controlled manner.
Yeah, one of the things for Cybercab should be noted is because it is a new vehicle chassis, we need to accumulate driving data that is specific to the Cybercab before we can put a lot of them on the road. So unlike say Model 3 and Model Y and our other vehicles, where we've got a lot of vehicles on the road, millions of vehicles on the road, we don't have that for Cybercab, so we actually have to accumulate miles with Cybercabs that are retrofitted with steering wheels and brakes, acceleration, braking pedals, that kind of thing, to calibrate to the Cybercab chassis. So you'll see as we are confident about that, the number of Cybercabs in cities will increase dramatically.
Great. Our next question is going to come. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Lars.
If I can just add one thought here. The other reason I just want to point out is, TCO, transportation regulatory situations are different city by city, state by state. There's not a federal, framework to do that. And so the reason we're expanding city by city is to make sure that we're meeting all of those one at a time, and we're satisfying, all of the requests of each individual city and in every way we can. And so we have to expand, to each city to meet those requirements, and we'll continue to do so. And until all of what Ashok and Vaibhav and Ashok said, we'll follow with the scaling.
Thanks, Lars. The next question is coming from Walt from Lightshed. Walt, please unmute yourself.
Thanks. Just a quick follow-up for that Lars comment. I mean, the NHTSA administrator, Jonathan Morrison, was just on CNBC. He already, was trying to get rid of the pedal and said, I forget his exact term, but it seemed like he wanted to get rid of the steering wheel. It seemed like that would be a gating factor. But is there other things that you need at the federal level to really kind of unlock your ability to ramp Cybercab?
The short answer is no. I think we have a great relationship with NHTSA and Director Administrator Morrison especially. And I think they're just following through with what the public wants and the world knows is coming, and they're trying to stay ahead of it and make sure that they're doing the right things in place. So we've been open and honest with them for the last couple of years about what our plans were and what we're doing, and I don't want to say we're in lockstep, but I feel like we have a partner there, and we're working together on it.
Got it. And then just Elon, it's kind of a roadmap question, I guess. Starlink obviously is integrated in CyberCab, and you guys just talked about the connectivity for watching movies. But what about the flip side of that? Can the CyberCabs become remote hotspots for Starlink Mobile? And then similarly, roadmap question on the Semi. When do you anticipate looking at autonomy for the Semi? Because that seems like a pretty sizable market as well in terms of autonomous trucking and the need for it, given what's going on in our country right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There, as you allude to, there is a really serious shortage of truckers. So there just aren't enough people around who want to drive trucks, which are crucial for transport throughout America. So an autonomous Semi is actually going to be very important to address the shortage of truck drivers. And obviously will be great for improving safety and making it easier on truck drivers to have a self-driving Semi is going to, I think, dramatically improve safety and comfort for truck drivers that use this as a Semi. Since the units, the total number of units of the Tesla Semi is still low and will continue to be a very small percentage even by the end of this year of our total vehicle fleet, it makes sense for us to focus our efforts, our self-driving efforts, on our high volume vehicles, so Model 3 and Y, and solving self-driving and really getting to the point where it's generalized, unsupervised self-driving for those vehicles, and CyberCab. So we expect to get self-driving working on the Tesla Semi probably around the end of this year or early next year. But I just don't want it to be a distraction on the on the march of nines of self-driving, of safety for self-driving on 3Y and CyberCab. That's so that it's taking a bit of a backseat for the next 6 months or so for autonomous Semi. But it will be, it will definitely be a bit working next year and in time for the scale up to high production of Tesla Semi. For communications, I think there's an interesting angle there where you could use the Starlink terminals that are in the Tesla cars as like sort of cell towers, I suppose, or connectivity towers, basically for providing relays on the ground to cell phones and to anyone who would like Wi-Fi, basically. But I mean, it's a different subject, but obviously one could do that with the stationary Starlink terminals too.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Will at Truist. Will, please unmute yourself.
Great. Thanks so much for taking my question. Elon, you teased us a little bit about sort of the supply chain relative to Optimus, highlighting how difficult it's going to be, but we'd be really interested to understand what your propensity is to manufacture semis for this yourself. When we think about microprocessors, microcontrollers, actuators, and other semiconductors that are going to be used, it occurs to me that you have many that are commercially available. You have an option to design some but have them made at third-party fabs. You also have the option potentially to design and make them yourself. What should we think about your propensity to source these components in these different manners?
You're talking about making like microcontrollers and small, like the various computers that are in the car that operate like the steering system and the braking system.
No,
that kind.
I'm talking about for Optimus, not for
Yeah.
not for the car.
Yeah. Optimus has a lot of really specialized power electronics and circuit boards. It's all Tesla design stuff, but it is fabricated by suppliers. For Optimus 4, which will be built in Austin, that will be a much more vertically integrated supply system for Optimus 4. And that would, we'd aim to have an order of magnitude more production of Optimus 4 than Optimus 3. So it's sort of aspirationally 10 million units a year versus 1 million units a year of Optimus 3. But with all the caveats there, which is insanely difficult to scale production. Yeah, Optimus 4 will be much more vertically integrated. So probably doing a lot of the sort of PCB work in-house for that.
As a follow-up, well, first, maybe you could talk about the timing as to when Optimus 4 should, let's say, start production. But the actual follow-up I wanted to ask was the plan to upgrade hardware 3 to hardware 4 in order to be able to process, I suppose it's version 15 of and future versions of FSD. Is that still the plan to do hardware upgrades on the cars?
I think it's going to make sense to upgrade all cars that are have less than hardware for almost any cars that have cameras, basically, because otherwise I think probably too many modifications. But anything that's got sort of that's set up for cameras, it'll be financially sensible at some point to upgrade them. But I think we'd want to upgrade them to the next generation of like next generation AI board. So it'll be either like we have an upgraded AI4 chip that's sort of a medium, sort of moderate improvement over AI4, probably reaches production around the middle of next year. And then there's also AI5, which hopefully is in volume production around the middle of next year. AI5 will initially go into Optimus. And actually making very good progress. So the Tesla chip team is really doing great work and making incredibly fast progress on AI5. And I'm very excited about the design of the Tesla AI6 chip. I think it's going to be the best edge computing chip in the world. And if somebody's got a better one, I'd like to meet that person and shake their hand, because the AI6 chip is just so good. So I think things are going really well on the chip front. Yeah, and again, I'd like to thank TSMC and Samsung and Micron for the support.
Great. We are coming up on the hour, but we're going to try to squeeze Dan in. So from Barclays, Dan, please unmute yourself.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'd like to ask about the pace and path of CapEx. Elon, in the past, you've said that you'll spend as much as you can, but really efficiency seems like it's the gating factor. So to what extent right now in this CapEx cycle is your pace of CapEx effectively capped simply because spending any more would be done in an inefficient manner? And to what extent is the pace of CapEx really the primary determinant right now in unlocking the different supply constraints that you have?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've actually, what I've asked the Tesla team to do is like really we should be spending on CapEx as fast as we can spend, as fast as we can without it being too wasteful. So we're not trying to aim for like some extremely high efficiency capital spend, because that would slow things down. So it's a balance between like how much sort of capital efficiency versus time. So if we can be, it's okay to be a little less capital efficient if we get things done sooner, because that's actually going to be the higher NPV outcome for the company. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. I mean, we're doing an incredible amount of construction and production growth in so many different arenas simultaneously. I don't think there's ever been a company that's done this at the scale, maybe proportionately back when Henry Ford did the Model T or something like that, but or World War II when companies were making it had to sort of scale up weapons production. But I think probably this is the fastest industrial scale up since World War II in America.
Yeah, and I will just add a little bit on that. Basically, if you look at it, all our spend on CapEx is trying to do productive assets, right? We're basically scaling factories, whether it's Optimus, whether it's CyberCab, whether it's LFP factory, which went into operation earlier this year, or the semi factory, or even putting in a semiconductor fab in there, as well as, we are trying to get a lot of solar manufacturing in the US. In fact,
Yeah,
our
very important.
plants,
This is underrated, by the way.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to, yeah, basically, the amount of solar manufacturing which happens in the US, we're just going to multiply it with an order of magnitude. And none of these things are easy, right? Because what you have to do is, in order to build a factory, you have to start from ground zero. So just so you know, again, I don't think we have shared this. We end up being the general contractor for almost all our construction facilities because we are doing that much construction. And so going back to what Elon was saying, we're going at a very rapid scale. And yes, this means that we are doing a lot of things all at the same time. And that's why, we just have to go as fast as we can, humanly make things work in the real world.
Yeah, but our CapEx efficiency, I think, is off scale good.
Already. And then Dan, did you have a follow-up that we can wrap up with?
Yeah, maybe just a quick question on energy storage, which I think is a key topic here. Maybe you can just address, to what extent is energy storage going to be supply constrained for the foreseeable future, and then just to what extent are the deployments right now the typical peak shaving that you'd see at utilities versus you've talked about in some of your materials. For battery storage, addressing the quality of power issue for data centers, given the sharp fluctuations in power use, where you have an advantage given software or power electronics. So just what is that demand curve right now between data centers versus just broader peak shaving for utilities?
Well, it's still mostly, it's not just peak shaving, but it's also grid balancing. So it's not just like the packs are on briefly, but for balancing power from wind generation and solar generation, batteries are awesome. I mean, the solar battery combination will be how the vast majority of energy in the world is produced in the future. That's already, of course, how all of the Starlink satellites are powered, is with solar panels and batteries. So, and you can just think of Earth like a giant satellite. There's far more power available from the sun than anything else by far, and we think power constraints are going to be there already are a major issue for AI. Just turning on the AI computers, the AI compute demand is so high that people are having even the so-called the hyperscalers are having trouble turning on their AI compute and finding the power and then smoothing the power with especially for the training runs where the power cycles dramatically in a very short period of time. You can have during a training run the power consumption can drop by 70% for 100 milliseconds, and you really need fast acting advanced power electronics to be able to smooth out these massive changes in power, especially during the training runs. So that's why SpaceX has bought so many megapacks for the data centers. It's actually mostly for smoothing out the power for the training runs. But it will also be useful for being able to tap more power from the grid by if you tell utilities that they can you know that they will not need to supply power during the the worst hours of the worst days of the year because the batteries can handle it, then that makes it much easier for them um, to give you power. In fact, I mean, probably the best way to scale total energy production in the United States is simply using batteries, because there's, I think, around 1.2 or 1.3 terawatts of power production in the US, but the average power usage is only half a terawatt. So you've got 2.5 times as much power generation as the average usage. That means you could potentially double the energy output of the United States just with batteries. So really we see demand for Megapack being very, very high in the future.
Alrighty. That is all the time we have for today for Q&A. We appreciate everyone's questions, and we look forward to talking to you next quarter. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Sheesh. How you all feeling? How do you all think this earnings call went? Because I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty encouraging. Yeah, the stock is like, down 4%, 4.5%, but they were talking about a lot of future things, a lot of what the plan is and stuff like that. I think some short-term pain is coming, but it's for the better, for a better long-term result. It was very encouraging, better than I thought it was going to be. However, they did speed run through retail investors' questions. But yeah, I think this earnings call was pretty encouraging. I'm actually pretty happy that they laid out what's going on. Let's see what happens. One interesting thing that I do want to mention, I'll make a separate video about this tomorrow, just talking about things that Elon commented on the merger with SpaceX, saying that, yeah, we can't talk about it during the earnings call. Such action needs appropriate procedures. What does that mean, right? And I wrote, while I was listening to this, I wrote a lot of it on X. So you guys can go and break down. But out of 10, what do you guys rate this this call? I'm gonna give it, because it was encouraging. They didn't promise anything for the next quarter or anything. They just said that this will take some time. Although FSD and unsupervised robotaxis, all this stuff, they are growing like 10% in miles on a weekly basis, which is freaking insane. But out of 10, what do you guys think? 2, 3, and I think I'm gonna go with a 6 with this one, maybe 6.5, because it was pretty encouraging. Yeah, all the negatives, all the things, they that noise, all the negatives, all the things that they said, aligned with what the financial is, and so like it made sense. The only thing there were some things that was pie in the sky, like semis, robot trucking by end of this year or next year. I mean, if that happens, that'd be nice, but I doubt it. But some other things. I mean, I wrote it all on X. I said a list of things I just wrote while Elon was talking. So you guys want to go check that out. Optimus, how he was talking about how Optimus will be the first humanoid robot to do generalized tasks. Other humanoid robots you see are controlled and pre-programmed. So figuring all those other guys are pre-programmed. So a lot of interesting things, and sheesh, amazing. Anyways, I'm so tired. It's like 2 a.m. here, and it's time to it's time to go to bed. It's like 1:40. I can't even keep my eyes open. Anyways, I love y'all so much. I'll see you guys in the next video, which I'll be doing breaking down. There were some interesting things that I do want to go over. 3-hour live stream. Sheesh. Anyways, I love y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Sheesh, I love it. All right, take care, guys. Let's go. Sheesh.